All right, here we go. Check 1, 2. I am your host, the trick philosopher and scholar Tony Maceo. I am back again, assisted by my big brother, the almighty Triple XL Big Mac from Mac City. How you holding up tonight, bro? You there?
Yeah, man. Shit, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay,
All
then.
right. So how you holding up
Yeah.
tonight, Doc?
Hold on 1 second, man.
All right.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
I got too many windows. Uh,
I see we got some people in the
mm,
chat tonight. We got Miss Nicole Michelle. She did a fire podcast today on the convenient wifey. She let them hoteppers have it, dog. She let them have it with both barrels.
okay, there we go.
So
All right, I'm
shout
cooking
out to
now. I'm
Nicole
cooking. All
Michelle.
right.
All right. Shout out to Nicole Michelle,
Boo.
Brian Jenkins,
Boo.
Boo, Rain Woman, Paul Blunt,
Boo for Nicole Michelle.
Nicole Michelle. She did a podcast today and she let them hoteppers have it. She blacked out on them
Mm.
hoteppers, so she let them niggas have it with both barrels. But
Shit.
anyway, welcome to our live stream tonight. I got, of course, the one and only Triple XL. Is that your phone,
Damn.
Doc?
Hey, Tony. Yeah,
What's
man.
up?
Hold on, man. This is it's Crybaby Nish. Hold on, man. I think this is important. Hold
Oh, of course. Okay.
on.
What is my speed?
What's up, girl?
What you doing, Mike?
Shit, I'm on the phone. I'm doing a show with my boy Tony.
Call me when you get done.
All right, baby.
All right.
Bye. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Tony. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay.
All right.
She's on standby.
Crybaby Nish. That's
My
another
baby.
interesting case. Yeah, but anyway, we're back here at powerstrategy.com. And tonight's topic is about, money and power and respect. And the reason I came up with this, Mac, is because you know what our stance always has been as far as the situation about being in charge and, running shit, and you pay the cost to be the boss. That's always been, our philosophy. So, and it's all some of this shit, Nicole Michelle done started a lot of shit with this secure the bag. That she done started all this shit with this secure the bag and 50-50. So it done caught on. It's caught on in the manosphere and it's been the topic of discussion. I don't see why. The shit is kind of fundamental to me, but nevertheless, the pushback has been, if you lead with your wallet, the woman ain't gonna respect you. You trying to buy respect. You can't buy loyalty. You can't buy love. The same, narratives over and over again that, money will not buy you genuine affection. It will not buy you a genuine relationship. And so one of the things that they've been saying, I've heard guys say, is that, a lot of women will fake submission or they will fake bend into your will just to get your paper. So when I called you earlier today, my thing or what I wanted you to explain on the show is, how do you know or give some indicators? Because I have my own definition and my own cues and indicators. How do you know when a female is genuinely submitting to you and when they're running game on you? And, of course, there are three from the Mac City stable that come to mind, complete with the journal logs, and we're going to discuss a little bit of that tonight. There's the Hydra, boss bitch, and what's the other one? Hydra, boss bitch, and Allie.
Okay.
Those were three of my favorites because they fit that theme. The pushback is that, okay, well, they're just doing that shit because you paying them. So I wanted you to drop some game about one, how are you able to distinguish between when a broad is really on your on your side, when she's really on your team, or when she's just, running game for that paper. So, start wherever you want to, start wherever, you wish, but, break that down so people can really understand that.
Well, my philosophy, man, is keep it simple, stupid. There ain't no big mystery to it, man. Uh when you in the game and you got money and you got the bag, females are basically looking to prey upon you. They're looking out for what you can do for them. Now, if a female genuinely likes you and genuinely wants to be with you and spend some time with you, it's going to be the reverse. She's not going to be trying to prey on you and get in your pockets and just have a relationship where it's just her taking and you giving. Uh, does a situation where she's going to want to reciprocate and she's going to want to do things for you. She's going to want to give you money. She's going to want to buy you gifts. She's going to call you up and say, hey, daddy, let me do this and that and the other for you. You know what I mean? So most of the females that I have run into, they can fake it for a little bit, but if the female ain't feeling you, man, she's not really going to be proactive in doing anything for you. She's going to act like a predator, and she's going to just strictly just be in your pockets, and it's going to be all about what you can do for her. And in her mind's eye, she ain't got to do jack shit for you. Now, some of them, like I said, they can fake it for a little bit, but uh, it can't last too long. You know what I mean? I've had some pretty good game players, but that sort of game, it becomes very wearisome and troublesome for them. So that's what they do, man. They peter out. They die from fatigue, man, and trying to act like they're actually into you. And because if a female ain't feeling you, man, she's not going to want to call you up and just volunteer giving you some head. She's not going to want to just call you up and take you out to dinner. She's not going to want to call you up and just do anything in the realm of actually doing something for you. That's all I really need to know if a female is checking for me. I mean, you got the other things, the other nuances, man. Like, it does she even touch you? Something as simple as that. If you're out with a female, you've been dealing with her for a certain amount of time, does she even put her hands on you? Does she even touch you? You know what I mean? I mean, that's one of the key indicators where I was looking at that Dr. Boyce Watkins video when he was proposing to homegirl, man. I didn't see a lot of personal interaction as far as them touching each other. You know what I mean? And that's a big key indicator for me. Does the woman even put her hands on you? Does she want to be close to you? You know what I mean? You can't fake that. Pretty soon, if she's dealing with you long enough, like some females can fake it for a little bit, but their true intentions and their true feelings tend to always come out, man. So they can't necessarily keep that up for long. But yeah, like I said, just simple stuff like that. I mean, does she want to cuddle up to you? Does she want to, put her hands on you, snuggle up to you, hug you? You know what I mean? But those are two of the things that I usually pay attention to. She's got to want to actually put some skin in the game with me. She's got to do something. You know what I mean? She selfish. Probably the most selfish bitch in the stable right now would be the Hydra. The bruh. Man, I can't.
Oh yeah.
I've lost weight
Oh
trying
yeah.
to crack this code, man, because you know how I am. I drink my own Kool-Aid. I think I can break any bitch down, man. But she is proven to be very, very problematic, man, as far as me totally breaking her down and totally bending her to my will, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Want me to just start on with the Hydra, man? Or you want to interject
Well,
on
yeah, we
something?
going there, but yeah, we going there, but I want to open it up. We're gonna get to her right
Okay.
now. My thing
Okay.
is like, from when I've observed her, right? She's
Mm-hmm.
really, and this is what a lot of dudes are saying. They fake submission, they fake,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote, for lack of a better word, they fake femininity. They say, well, how do you know she's not fake? And she is the consummate. Well, not consummate, because that game she's doing is not really complicated, because we know what she's doing. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what she'll do, I mean, you can tell when the bitch wants something, that bitch sweeter than diabetes. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? That be, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hello, daddy. Real complimentary,
Mm-hmm.
real flattering. That bitch know how to stroke her ego. I mean, she can stroke her ego about as good as she can stroke a dick. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, she is super agreeable when she's wanting something. But it's
Right.
like when you ask her to do something or you ask her to bring something to the table, it was like because you were telling me one time like you took her, I think, to go grocery shopping, or she took you to go grocery shopping or something like that. And you
Mm-hmm.
were
Right.
taking the bags out the car, and she was just looking at you move the
Ah,
bags. You're
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. Uh-huh.
bitch, you ain't gonna get out and help, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
Uh-huh.
so it's a situation to where they don't put there's no consideration. It's like they lose the mouse out of their pocket. Everything, it goes from being we to being, I. So with her,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that she's real flattering. Her mouth piece is real sweet when she's calling. The bitch's mouth is in G flat. So she's
Mm-hmm.
real agreeable, real cooperative. But when the rubber meets the road, when it's time for her to put some skin in the game, then the bitch go. She turn into Helen Keller. She get deaf and mute at the same time. So,
Right.
yeah, start with her, dog, and talk about, you know, her disposition and how you deal with her and your struggle with her, and how you can look at, what kind of game she's running, and how you can see the cracks in her arm.
Well, this is a funny thing, man, because I think me and you, we have this platform where it's kind of rare that cats like us get on here and just be 100% honest,
Right,
100% true to the game, man. And
right,
so when I tell cats, I mean, we get on here and we tell brothers how we win all the time. But when I come on here and tell cats, I don't win all the time, man. Sometimes a broad get over, sometimes I lose.
right,
Sometimes uh cats are not really familiar with the concept of losing the battle, but winning the war. You
right,
know what I
right,
mean? And sometimes we lose battles. You know what I mean? But for the most part, we always win the. But you got to understand the animal that you're dealing with, man. And so with any female that I'm dealing with, I do an intense study on their background, who they with, and the family background, and the kids. I mean, all sorts of things, educational background. I do a thorough study on the broad who I'm fucking with, man. And Hydra, she was brought up in foster care. She didn't have too much. I mean, damn near a Centoya Brown for real.
right.
Shoot, she didn't have too much to do with her biological mother. Most her family upbringing goes back to her foster care, and she's a dope girl. You know what I mean? Every time she had a fulfilling relationship, it was pretty much with a cat selling dope, selling drugs, selling weed. Uh, I think I told you, man, at 17, she ended up getting married and going overseas to Germany. The dude that she was hugged up with,
Right.
he was like one of the first simps that she got a hold of, and she was cheating on him ad nauseum, fucking his superior officer. You know what I mean? I mean, this is all sorts of chicanery and just bugged out shit the homegirl's been doing, man. And coming up, of course, when she was young, she was fly, man. You know how she is. She got that bubble ass, man. And her personality, I tell cats all the time, man, like, cats has always asked me, well, why do you deal with this bitch? Number one is apples and oranges. She's for entertainment purposes only. I enjoy having this bitch around, but never will she be a serious mate. You know what I mean? I don't think cats totally digest that. She's never really gonna be something serious that I look at. Because I think who was that in there? I think Billy Jeffs basically said something to the effect when I was talking about how chicks, if they're serious, they want to snuggle up to you. And he was like, I don't know if I want all that. Want them broads snuggling up to me. And that's, when I was speaking on that, I was speaking more so on a more personal level. But yeah, I don't really require no broad to really snuggle up to me. But that is a case where you can tell if she's really digging you or she's into you or not, man. But Hydra, man, she just comes from a background where she was so cute and the body was so tight, and she was running with so many dope boys that no matter what she wanted, you know what I mean? As soon as she asked for it, it was like get. up. Them brothers was digging in their pockets and they was helping to fulfill all her needs. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of background she come from. And even though she's become older, she's now in her 40s. She still sees herself as, that young teenager that can
19-year-old
get
bubble
anything.
butt dope man's bitch.
No doubt. She still sees herself like that, man. And no matter how many times I subliminally remind her, and I say just subliminally, I don't necessarily come out and just crack her head open with the shit, but I'm always trying to tell her, like, look, it's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to change your focus in life. You're not 19 years old no more. You know what I mean? It's time for you to straighten up and fly right. But old habits are hard to break, man. So she is always in game mode. She can't seem to snap herself out of just being in game mode. All she knows is she wants this or she wants that. And by any means necessary, she's going to get it. And the vehicle by which she gets it will be a man. I mean, that's just how she's always been. That's always been her modus operandi. That's just always been how she survived. You know what I mean? So she's put a lot of energy and a lot of work into manipulating men to get what she wants, even though it's child's play to me. And I think I had this discussion with her yesterday, man, because I was with her yesterday. And she was sick and she didn't have no one else to call. She wanted me to pick her up, take her to the emergency room and shit, you know what I mean? And she's always, she just be killing me. Oh, you're the best. You're the only one who loves me. You're the only one who cares for me. And then once again, we going back to some of the things that I was speaking on. Because she one of the chicks that got my name tatted on her, right? And niggas is asking me like, why are you still dealing with this chick? Because she got the tattoo, but then when it came down to her actually hooking me up on some sex, she swerved me. So cats was like, damn, really? And they was like, dang, Mac, I thought you had this bitch in check. Thought you had her in pocket. And I'm like, look, man, even in marriages, you're gonna have a situation where the husband and the wife go splitsville for a little bit. You know what I mean? You're gonna have situations with the husband and the wife where they just not gonna agree, they're not gonna get along, they're not gonna want to fuck, they're not gonna want to cohabitate. And this is just one of those little hiccups in the road with me and this chick. A lot of cats don't understand the history between me and her. I mean, I've been winning with this chick since 2009. And this is one of them things where me and you like to call a disturbance in the force.
Absolutely.
And the disturbance in the force is right about now. She goes both ways. She likes men and women. And she got some little female that like 10 years her junior, and they kicking it right now. Of course, she don't want to tell me that they kicking it, but of course I'm so deep in the game. I know when you're licking on abroad, you know what I mean? I can tell just when I go over there and the chick that's staying there looking at me all cross-eyed, you know what I mean? And so I'm saying all that to say this, man. Her manipulation skills and the way she does her little deceptions, and to me, it's cute. And I don't really put too much stake in it. I don't put too much stock in it, man, because like I said, I've been knowing her since 2009, and I know what she's doing. I know how she's doing it. I know how long this little situation is pretty much going to go on. It'll probably be maybe another 30 days before she's back to wanting to get, should I say, about 30 more days before she's back in pocket, and she's going to do pretty much whatever I say, man. But whenever there's a disturbance in the force, there's new dick or new pussy in the mix, she does become problematic, man.
And for the record, this is not a chick that you gonna stagger down the aisle with. This is not a chick that
No,
you talking about putting a ring on her finger.
no, no,
This
no,
is
no, no,
just
no.
fun. This is just all fun and games, man. Just all fun and
Right.
games, right?
Yeah, yeah, no
So
doubt.
with her, like I said, what she does, I mean, when it comes to flattery, when it comes to complimenting a nigga and stroking a nigga's ego, she is very good at that. She's very
Excellent.
good at that. But the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, again, she's short-winded. She can't keep that shit up for an extended amount of time. You start to see like the flashes of ingratitude in her personality. You start to
Mm-hmm.
see, a lot of shade and a lot of venom in her personality when you're dealing with her. Because again, she can put on a good show. She can put on a good
Mm-hmm.
show, but whenever you ask her to really invest, put some skin in the game,
Mm.
That's it seems like when you're imposed or trying to put an obligation on her, that's when the bitch kind of fall back. That's when she
Yeah.
kind of fall back. She hates for you to impose any obligations on her, you know. And
Oh
like you
man,
said,
she
she's
hates that.
constantly in game mode. She's constantly in game mode. So, so somebody would ask, so why, how are you able to tell the difference? Well, that's usually how you're able to tell the difference. When a female does not want to invest in you, a female that's really rolling with you is going to invest in you because she wants to see you win. She understands that your victory is a victory for both of y'all. So she's going to put in that investment. She's not only going to be your cheerleader. You see what I'm saying? She's not only going to be your cheerleader, but in some instances, what she's going to do, she's going to show you that she's all in and she's going to be devoted to you winning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually the difference between, when you notice when they're down for you, and that's what I've observed. But it seems like with all the chicks that are in the journal logs, or the ones that I've met, it's like a ebb and flow with them. It's like a up and down with them. 1 minute they're really slick mouth and disrespectful, and like you said, we know what that is. When their mouth is really slick and they're disrespectful, it's some new dick in the mix. When they're
Mm-hmm.
really slick mouth and disrespectful, it's a new dick in the mix, or like in this case, some more pussy in the mix, because she goes both ways. So
Mm-hmm.
you generally are able to tell, because generally those people don't tend to be monogamous. The ones
Right.
that are really going to give an investment, those people are not monogamous. Those people are just straight out there playing the field, getting it how they got it, doing what they do or whatever. So I noticed, like, and with her, it was constantly dealing with her. It was always some fuckery dealing with her. And it was like, okay, it was constant manufactured emergencies. That bitch would
Mm-hmm.
manufacture an emergency to get money out of you in a heartbeat. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? I washed the crayons in my kids' jeans and they need some new clothes. Oh, my tires flat. Oh, my thermostat gave out. Oh, it was always something. And it was like, okay, you really don't see that we know what you're doing. You
Mm-hmm.
really don't understand that, bitch. We see this. We understand how. We understand that this is game. You really think you're gonna get this over on us? you know and it's like, well, you would think that she wouldn't try it, but she would try it. You would think she would be
Mm-hmm.
smart enough to say, because here's what they'll do. A lot of times, a lot of them will show you their grimy side. They'll show you how grimy they are. Now, you just told me that you picked a nigga's pocket when he's sleeping, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you're gonna
Yeah.
turn around and come to me and say, well, real talk, you really messed up. Wait a minute, wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute, wait. So you pick a nigga's pocket when he's sleeping, but I'm supposed to think you won't pick mine over the phone? No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no. So, like you said, it comes down to, knowing who you're dealing with. And you made an excellent point earlier. You said, well, we talk about when we win. There are times when you lose, you don't always win. No dude always wins dealing with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
No dude always wins dealing with a woman. Like you said, the grand strategy of losing the battles to win the war. You take
Mm-hmm.
some L's, but the name of the game is to lose more, than you win. You know.
Or win more than you
I'm
lose.
sorry. Damn, that's right.
Right.
Win more than you lose. My
Yeah.
bad. I said that backwards. Win
Right.
more than you lose. That's the name of the
Mm-hmm.
game, is to win more than you lose. Because, they're so good. I mean, they lie better than crackheads. A lot of them, they really
Man.
slick with their shit, you know,
Man.
and they're really good at it. And she was one of the ones, like, she will her thing was again, stroking your ego, and you would think you would be at a cool spot with her or whatever. And then what would happen is that she would do some little slick shit to show you, okay, well, no, I'm still quote unquote running things. But the problem with her is that she always needed to come back because nobody really gave a fuck about her.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so now here she is, what, at 40 some odd years, of age, and she don't understand she done hit the wall.
Mm.
You know,
Hey, it's a funny thing, man, where, I've always heard that philosophy or that saying, when they show you who they are, believe them.
believe them.
believe them, man. And boy, she's just one of the grimiest chicks ever, man. You know what I mean? I've seen her do it to you, that been done to me. You know what I mean? So whenever she put on that smiley face, it was just like, the shit be cute. Remember when I was taking her, man, like driving this heifer, like 35, damn near 30, 35 miles to her little bullshit something something college. I can't
Yeah,
remember what that shit was, man, but
yeah. Getting up early in
boy,
the morning and taking her.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
And this heifer, do you know? 'Cause I told you this story, man, where I'm picking her, well, I'm picking her up, driving her to the, well, not just picking her up, but picking her kids up, make sure the kids are straight, dropping them off at school, then dropping her off at school. This heifer had the nerve to be on the phone, snuggled up on the phone, cupcaking with some nigga while I'm putting in all that work, driving her from A to B, burning all my gas. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
checked her on that shit. I'm like, bitch. I'm like, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to Dre. I'm like, well, who the fuck is Dre? And why ain't Dre taking your ass back and forth to school? You know what I mean? And so she was just like, well, he ain't got no car. And I'm like, well, new rule, bitch. Don't talk to that nigga in my goddamn car when I'm burning my goddamn gas. You know what I mean? And a lot of niggas, once again, is probably saying, why you fucking with a bitch that do shit like that? Once again, niggas don't understand the history. This chick, man, been putting bread in my pocket, man, for a decade. You know what I mean? Whether it be on the blade or whether it be on the internet. So she's an investment. You know what I mean? And she's actually done some cool, slick shit for me in the past as well, man. You know what I mean? Bringing me big, big money. You know what I mean? So that's one of the main reasons why she stays in the game with me, because her value, when you weigh the scales, is more pluses than minuses, man. But every now and then, abroad gonna try you, man. There's gonna be some hiccups, there's gonna be some misunderstandings. And I'm like, ain't no fucking way I'm gonna be getting up, 4, 5 in the morning, picking you up and your kids up, and you snuggled up in the corner on your cell phone. This was happening in the dead of winter, nigga. It's like fucking 5, 6 inches of snow on the ground and shit. And she hi hi and on the phone with some nigga. I'm like, no, 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 no. And it ain't got shit to do with me being jealous of this nigga or whatever. It's just principle. It's like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. If you that enamored by this nigga, then he can take your ass back and forth, because I want to sleep in the morning. I don't want to get up. You know what I mean? And if you got you a so-called man, which she was kind of like insinuating that she had the way she was talking, then your man need to handle this shit. Me and you just cool business associates. And and we hook up from time to time. We handle our business, do our little business transaction. But bitch, you not about to run me like this. That's not about to happen. So yeah, when abroad show you who and what she is, believe her, man. Believe her. But I never held that against her, because she a game player and I'm a game player too. So actually, the real deal is we low key belong together. You know what I mean? And we do get along. Cause like I told you, her non-sexual companionship is beautiful. I'd rather hang around with her, because like I say, I got a youngster right about now. She like 19, but I can't hang around no 19-year-old broad, man. The body is tight, sex is tight, but just the general conversation just drives me crazy. But yeah, I can go somewhere, to a restaurant, go to a park, go to the gambling casino with Hydra. Man, we have a real good time, man. So I don't know, anything you want to interject on that?
well, I know that was one time, like, because I actually saw you. We were in the Kettering Municipal Court, and that was when
Right.
she was trying to get her driver's license back. And I
Okay.
saw she was out in the van with you, and you were taking her to go get her license back.
Right.
And she was like, I remember that because she got bent out of shape that you brought that up, and she was like, "Don't be throwing no other nigga's name in my face." Well, bitch, you burning up my gas. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You burning up my
Yeah.
gas and my shit, taking you from here, and I think you had to take it down to Franklin and Warren County and Springboro and
Man.
shit. Like, bitch, I'm
Ugh.
taking you all over South Central Ohio, and you on the phone cupcaking with some nigga like shit is sweet, while
Mm-hmm.
you on my dime, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
she just thought that she thought in her mind that you disrespected her,
Mm-hmm.
by checking her about that, you know. And at that point, I really began to see like this girl really has an overestimation of her own entertainment value. She has a gross exaggeration of her sexual market value. It was like, yeah, you got a bubble butt, but no, you have to understand that just because you have a bubble butt, that doesn't give you a license to disrespect the nigga. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I saw, she had a real, real bad entitlement complex.
Yeah.
She had and then, to her benefit, and I don't know if this shit was a benefit. You remember that nigga she was in love with, Pee Wee?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pee Wee, the
Yep.
nigga Pee Wee. She
Yeah.
called me. She called me back in the day and asked me how could she take a charge for that nigga because he got caught.
Yep.
It was a gun case, and she
Mm-hmm.
called me trying to figure out or trying to ask me how can she take a charge for Pee Wee. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you can't take a charge for Pee Wee. It's his gun. It's a possession charge. The
Right.
fact that the gun is yours doesn't mean that he can't have it in his possession. So she was actually trying to figure out how can she go to jail for this nigga.
Yeah.
you know so
Mm-hmm.
I can understand what you're saying when you said, well, she's done a lot of slick shit, because it's one of these
Mm-hmm.
situations, no matter how fucked up and greasy she act, like she's too greasy. I mean, I couldn't coexist with her. I couldn't
Right.
coexist with that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But when she riding for a nigga, she was willing to take that case. She was
Mm-hmm.
willing to go to jail for him.
Right.
She was willing to go,
Mm-hmm.
she was willing to take penitentiary chances on a case that had nothing to do with her for him. And of course, he turned around and played her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this, I'm going to tell this funny little story. Y'all need to go to maxcity.com. I think Mike still got that shit up.
Yeah.
I think he still got
Mm-hmm.
that shit up.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that was a situation. That was one of the videos in there, like when she was sucking dick with a ring around her eye. That was
Oh.
the funniest shit ever. That was the funniest shit ever, dog. That shit was hilarious. You know,
Shit, man. Oh, that's why you bring that up, man.
that was, oh man.
That ain't right.
Yeah,
That ain't
yeah,
right,
that's
man.
right. That it don't get no righter, nigga. It don't get no righter.
Oh shit,
It don't
man.
get no righter.
Well,
So if
maybe
you
catch them.
thinking about how she's getting over on him, she got over on him, this, that, and the third, but nah. The material, the raw material was extracted long before she
Mm-hmm.
pulled that fuck shit, because there's that video right in maxcity.com where she got a ring around her eye and she's sucking dick on camera with
Mm.
that ring around her eye. And I
Shit.
thought,
I don't know. Maybe cats don't understand what that means. A ring around her eye. For those that don't know, her dude, what was it? I think that dude, I think his name was Rick.
yeah,
He basically
that was
beat the
him.
brakes off of her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, what had happened, he had caught her trying to holler at his cousin. He had busted. Well, she got busted because the cousin came back and hollered at him. Said, yo, man, your girl is trying to get at me. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to milk both of them at the same time. And I don't know what made her do that shit, because this Rick nigga was a bona fide street nigga, and he found out and he beat the brakes off of her. So she come over to my house crying about it and shit. And I'm like, yeah, come on in here. I'm going to give you Dr. Phil. We're going to discuss this shit. So you sitting down discussing it. She's spilling her heart out. And I guess she thought I was going to go out and go to war for her or something. I'm like, I got a better idea, man. You know what I mean? Let's, smoke these blunts. Let's go ahead and get a couple drinks. You know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying? Shit, let's the rest is history. As far as the website is concerned, I basically documented all that shit, man. Mm-hmm. So her eye was black and blue and whatever, and she spent the night over to the spot. We wake up and shit, man. Long story short, I got some documentation of her, doing the damn thing where she just got done getting domestically abused. You know what I mean? So everybody gets their turn to burn, man. You know what I mean? She ain't getting over scot-free. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and I ain't getting over totally scot-free. There's times where this broad, man, she puts me through the ringer, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, why do I deal with this bitch, man? You know what I mean? But then again, like, she surprises you and she does some really cool shit, man. She show up at your door, hey, daddy, I got such and such and I did such and such. And I'm like, damn, Man, she all right. You know what I mean? She restores my faith. You know, she puts balance back into the universe, man. You know, so bruh, you know, I don't know. Like I say, I don't think like a square, man. Most of these cats that hear these stories, they don't really see the background, man. They don't really see what actually goes into these relationships. And when I just tell them some of the incidentals of where, you know, the bra get over, you know, cats, they have a attitude like, Mac, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing special. You letting these hoes get over. Sucker for love ass nigga. And I thoroughly believe that you gotta break the eggs to make the omelet, man. So I always sit back, I bide my time, and I always get what the fuck I want in the end, man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know, especially with her, because I mean that's just one story. That's just
Mm-hmm.
one story. I
Man.
mean, because with her, it's been, you would have to check out those journal logs, but you know, there were
Mm-hmm.
times when, you know, they would get you to take them to basically gangbang parties, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yep.
and you would be there. They would trust you to hold and collect the money,
Right.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they would get you to take them there. It would be her and another girl, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the dudes would call over and say, hey, you know, can you uh bring some bitches over? Can you bring some
Right.
females over? And
Yeah.
you would get her and her so-called cousin and bring them over and put them to work. And
Mm-hmm.
she was always the favorite. Anytime you
Mm-hmm.
brought, she was always the favorite. You know, and of course there would be times when she would catch horror's remorse because she was infamous for that too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she would catch horror's remorse, you know, and start feeling, you know, these pangs of conscience because, you know, well, she didn't necessarily like what she was doing. I'm not in on this. I'm not down with this, and so forth and so on. But then, you know, she would act up, and you would have to push the reset button because that's what you would
Mm-hmm.
have to do. You would have to push the reset button. And then what would happen is that, okay, once you push the reset button, see, you were more forgiving than I was
Right. Oh
because
yeah, no
once
doubt.
you crossed me, that was it. That
Mm-hmm.
was it. But with you, it was more, okay, well, come back, because what you would do, you would get them in deeper. You would get them
Mm-hmm.
in deeper and have them doing, you know, all this out of the way crazy shit, the scribble game. And I think there
Mm-hmm.
was something deeply psychological about that, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
scribble game. And we'll go with what that is in a minute. But the thing is that again, with her, it was always like an ebb and flow. There was no middle ground, you
Yeah, let me
know.
let me go ahead and interject that right because you said something about how I take her to the parties and shit, man, and
Yeah.
you know she would get the bulk of the money because, like I said, man, her conversation is epic, is spectacular, and her sex game on top of that, nigga, she was a crowd favorite, man. But she would get the whore's remorse, you know what I mean, that night or a couple days later, and then you know she did it with you when I took her to a party, and you know you ended up talking to a couple days later. She ended up like throwing shade on me, like talking like, what she say? I forced her to do the shit. What she say? Do you remember, Tony?
Yo,
Tony, can
yeah,
you
I'm
hear
here.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah. That's what she did. She was like, he took me somewhere and dumped me off. And, you know, he didn't do this and he didn't do that. And
Yeah,
all he
man. You
had to
know.
do, you know, all he had to do was do this and I could have made some more money. No, you know, you became public enemy number one. You were her mortal enemy. You know,
Yeah,
you couldn't
and
do no right by her, you know. And he's
yeah, that was the
always
crazy
trying to
thing.
put his dick in my mouth and all that shit, you know.
Man, I was like, this bitch lying, man. I'm like, and that particular time when I did that party, you know, she was the one that wanted to go home. I was basically there for security to make sure that nothing happened to the girl. You know what I mean? And then it got to the point where she was doing such a good job. Cats was like, man, I mean, there was a line out this world to just get in that room and fuck with her, man. And I'm just like, damn. And she got to the point where I guess she was just worn out. She couldn't do it no more. And I had to break it to the fellas, like, nah, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Now, someone who's really pimping, that wouldn't have went down. They'd be like, bitch, you stay your ass in this room and you handle that business. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, no. We're gonna take your ass home, get you out this environment since you ain't feeling, what's going on, man. And so yeah, she was blaming me for that shit. Cause I was looking out for her and I took her ass home because that's what she requested. Then she go report back to you and
Mm-hmm.
say, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck? You know
And,
what I
and
mean? And
then she
then,
manufactured an emergency on top of it. My
mm-hmm,
money's missing, which
mm-hmm,
is low key, right? Is a low key
yeah,
hint that she's trying to get some more money about you, that
mm-hmm,
type shit, you know. So my game has always been, my thing has been, because there are there's the 48 laws of tricking. There's the 40, excuse me,
mm-hmm,
the 40 laws of tricking, the 40 laws of power tricking. And my thing, one of the rules always was this: if you can't find something in common with a woman other than your money, you don't trick with that girl.
mm-hmm,
If you can't find common ground, not saying she has to love you, that's not what I mean. If you can't find something to converse about, if there's no middle ground for you to sit back and exchange, and if everything is mercenary, you can't fuck with somebody like that. You would
mm-hmm,
have to employ what I call quarterly tricking. Somebody like
mm-hmm,
that, you deal with them quarterly, every 3 or 4 months. You don't keep them around constantly. But with her attitude, not only would she catch whore's remorse, but she's trying to figure out a way to make you pay for her whore's remorse. Because she was
mm-hmm,
like, my money got lost. He didn't do this. And if he had done this, I would have been able to make more money. I would have been able to do this. And I would have been able to do that. I'm like, no, you were right there in the whore's house, bitch. You were right there. It was your opportunity to get it. What are you
uh-huh,
talking about? You know. So,
boy,
I have a question. Some people want to know what whore's remorse is. I'm going to explain what that is.
okay,
Whore's remorse is when you have a lot of women that will, like the girl that was in here at our last podcast. She was, unabashedly a whore, and she didn't apologize for it. But what happens is that I don't care what any whore tells you, women do feel a certain sense, although they get a certain exhilaration from selling pussy. There's the low of it because their morality clashes with their pride. On one
mm-hmm,
hand, they have a really big ego due to the fact that a nigga is paying for their body, but then the morality and their conscience begins to conflict with that false courage that they have. And they start to see the fact that they're a hoe and that they can only make money off their body, and they start to dread that. So they dread that they're in that position. They dread that they're in that status of life, and they hate any and everybody associated with what they have to do to survive. So what happens is they begin to hate you, they begin to hate the trick, and they begin to hate the pimp. So what happens is a lot. That's the real reason why a lot of these pimps are physically abusive with these women, because they know that if these women dwell in that funk, if they dwell in that depressive state, that they're seriously in trouble, because that woman may kill them. She may set them up to get killed. She may snitch on them and turn them in to the police for some temporary guilt or remorse she's feeling for having to turn a trick to put food in her mouth. So a
mm,
lot of pimps will use violence, or they will use this type of emotional abuse as a way to shake them out of, that cocoon of anger and guilt and sorrow. So whore's remorse is the guilt they feel at having to suck dick or lay on their back to make money. That's what whore's remorse is. It's the implementation of their guilt or of their remorse of their lifestyle. So I hope I explained that. But she used to catch whore's remorse quite a bit, because she'll
hey,
tell
but
you that she sucked dick. She'll tell you, well, I have to get some money. But then she started feeling bad about, her having to suck dick, and to make money. And then that's when, her little nasty ass ego and her little greasy ass attitude comes out. And that's usually when you
hey,
have to push the button, the
but
reset button.
the funny thing is, right after that incident, man, where she didn't feel comfortable, you know what I mean, and she wanted to leave, and I basically did that for her. It was like maybe the next week, man, cats was hollering at me, man, wanted me. God damn! Hold on one second, man. It's boss. What up, baby?
I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
So y'all hearing this
Because you
live.
had time to go to dinner
Y'all are
and to the
y'all are
movie
hearing this
with
live.
somebody else,
You know, this is not
but it was my
cut or
birthday
edited.
and you
This
didn't
is
even take
live.
me out to do anything. Like, I feel some type of way about that.
You feel some type of way about me not doing your birthday?
Yes.
Nigga, I'm still waiting on a present for my birthday from 3 years ago.
So you thought that it was okay to take another chick out. It wasn't even her birthday.
Nigga, I told you the day that I was
This
going
is
to
the
take you out.
self-professed trick, ladies and
And, and,
gentlemen.
and look,
And
and
this
look.
conversation is
You
going
did
on
it
with the
because you did it
self-professed
because you
trick,
told me you had
by
a
the way.
language that deals with stuff when you
No,
dinner.
no.
But it's the issue when you take another chick out the day before and then the day you're supposed to take me out, you can't.
Baby, I asked you what day you want to go out. What day did you say?
I told you Saturday, and I told you Saturday. Saturday is when you sent me the text message and told me you couldn't.
You mean when I was asleep? When I was sick?
You said no.
I didn't take nobody out Saturday.
Only on Power and
I know
Strategy.
you were not getting it.
MaxCity.com,
You
ladies
said
and
that
gentlemen.
we would go to the next day, which would have been Sunday.
Okay,
And
look.
you couldn't because you had bills and shit. But I feel some type of way because you took a bitch out Friday.
I didn't take a bitch out Friday.
What you go to dinner to?
No, wait. Friday. I was supposed to take you out Saturday because you was getting off work Friday, and I wanted you to rest.
I got off Friday.
Yes.
Said,
Yes,
well,
Billy Jeff. It's live. It's live.
Because I know on Friday you're gonna be tired, and I don't want you to
This
be tired.
is Boss Bitch y'all
But when
listening
I got
to, by
off
the way.
Friday, I had text you. I said, "Can we go out to dinner today?" I feel okay. You said no, babe. I'm sorry. I'm at the movies, and I already went to eat.
Okay, so how do we resolve this? My apologies for whatever happened. Shit. Like I said, I wanted to take you out. Huh?
I don't know. I'm just telling you to express my feelings that I feel some type of way that you felt okay to take somebody else. And like my birthday weekend just passed, and you couldn't do anything because you were sick. And then when you were feeling well, you were supposed to go out with me, but you went out with somebody else.
Well,
so, like,
it wasn't.
My feelings.
Your feelings get hurt. Your feelings get hurt. Your feelings.
My feelings do get hurt sometimes.
Okay, well, I'm apologizing because, like I said, Saturday was the day I picked for us to go out, and I can't remember what the hell going on with all this shit, man, for real. Because I've been halfway sick, you know what I mean, all week.
Saturday you slept because you said you were feeling very nauseous all day.
Right.
So you slept and you apologized for that. You said, "I'm sorry, babe. I'm feeling nauseous today. Maybe we can go tomorrow." But then when I hit you up on Sunday, you was like, "I'm sorry, babe. Something about you got a lot of bills that came in or something." I don't know if you said that because I had sent you a cash app request, but you still didn't say anything about us going out that day for dinner.
Okay, well, how do we clean this up? Because it wasn't intentional, baby. It really wasn't. You know, I takes care of you now. So just let what you want done. You know what I'm saying? So we can get past this because I had no idea that you was taking it so hard.
I don't know what can be done. My birthday ain't here no more, so
Well, in fairness, you don't do too much shit for my birthday in retrospect either. So when the last time you did something for my birthday? All right, then. So
this is how it goes down here on Power and Strategy TV. This is how it goes down.
No, I just forgot, baby. No, I just forgot. I got shit I'm doing. I just forgot your birthday, baby. But you can't clown me if I forget your birthday when you don't never do jack shit for my birthday. Right? Okay. That's all that is. So hey, whenever you want to go ahead and you think of a way for me to make it right, let me know, and I'm gonna do that for you. All right? Okay. I'll talk to you later. Jesus Christ, nigga. Fuck.
Ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen, what you just heard was receipts. What you just heard, what you just witnessed, that's called receipts. That's
Mm.
called a receipt. I got a phone call from the jail, and that nigga
Damn.
ain't got no money. Yeah, I got a phone call from the jail. That nigga ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, uh
Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear?
yeah, they heard it. Oh,
Oh,
they
okay.
heard it. They heard it. They heard it. They heard it.
Man, the nerve of this heifer, man. I think let me see. As far as I've been knowing her, I think she may have done like maybe 3 times where she hooked me up on my birthday. And I've been knowing her since '06. 3 times, you know what I mean? And yeah, I was out
Mhm.
with another bitch, on her birthday. So what? You know what I mean? But bitch, you don't never do nothing for my birthday either. So, but she got the nerve to be upset about it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you upset. Shit, it is what it is. God damn.
Well,
Like you said, this is supposed to be some trick shit, right?
right. This supposed to be trick shit,
So
right?
why she has feelings about it? I don't know.
Well, again, that's the topic. That's the topic of our discussion here tonight. Okay, how do you know when a woman is really interested in you and when she's just playing you? The truth is that it's a mixed bag of tricks. But
Mm-hmm.
usually the best indicator is when a woman is willing to invest in you. When she's willing to invest in you and she does bring some skin to the game. She does do, little shit for your birthday. But these relationships, you have to keep in mind, what you've just seen, ladies and gentlemen, does not represent the relationship of the common everyday dude. This is the Fat Mack, and his shit is kind of different because his relationships with these women is, dare we say, complicated. Uh, it's complicated. So the situation you see here may not be representative of every dude across the board. Okay. So the women are in here and they clutching their pearls. I mean, they
Oh, are they?
they are clutching. Oh yeah, man. The women in here,
What they saying? 'Cause I ain't looking at the chat.
man, you know, they're going off. They was like, oh man, this is what they do now. They put them on live, clowning because they was on live and they heard it, you know, and so forth and so on. Brian Jenkins said, "You're not tricking right, Fat Mac." Uh, you know, so uh,
I want to know what the hell he mean by that. What do you mean I ain't tricking right?
I think really more than anything else, he's just messing around, and he's just joking or whatever, pulling your leg. But the thing is that what we've been trying to tell people for the past 10 years that we've been doing this is that these relationships are not conventional relationships. They're not
Mhm.
normal relationships by any sense of the word. This is not a situation where boy meets girl, you know, and they just live happily ever after in a white home with a white picket fence next to a neighbor named Fred. This is not what this is. So the relationships are different because the women we deal with are kind of different because this is not we're not looking to marry them. This is not a traditional relationship. We're not walking down the aisle. And so this is the type of shit that happens when you're not really looking to walk down the aisle. Some niggas are gonna say, well, this is fuckery, Tony. This is fuckery. Yeah, that's what it is. It's fuckery. It's fuckery. Of course it's fuckery. There's no question that it's fuckery. You
Mm.
know. And okay. I got this nigga is back. Let me get rid of him. Let me get rid of his ass again. Derek C. Williams, my favorite troll, is back. He's gone
Okay.
now. Okay. But you know, they are horrified, and Miss Nick Speaks is in here. She's flexing. Niggas know better than to try me like this. No, you're
What?
probably getting got now. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what is she talking about though. What does she
Well, I
mean?
think
Try her like that? What I mean?
it was the thing that the girl was on live, shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. She was on live, and they were upset that it got exposed like that. But this, see, when we say these things, if we say these things, they wouldn't believe us, right? You know,
Mm-hmm. Right.
um,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a situation to where we are lying. They think we're lying, or they think that what we're doing is we're just blowing our own horns, but we're only
Right.
explaining. what happens, in
Mm-hmm.
situations like that. you know so we have one woman. I think she's gone now. Mary Cake says she came onto this channel to figure out how to find a good man, but I think we've horrified her. So she's up out of here. She's up out of here, and so forth and so on.
Mm,
But the thing is back to our topic, and that's an excellent segue into the chick you just heard is boss bitch, right?
right.
And no, no, baby, I'm sorry, this is not marriage advice. She said I got traumatized. I'm gonna have a I'm gonna have a marriage show tomorrow. One of my college buddies on Genosha TV is coming, and we're gonna discuss that on Genosha TV. That go over there if you want to hear that. That's 90% less niggardry. So that's where we're gonna go through that. Oh, the I think the hoe is back in here. She said we grimy. The hoe from last night has returned, and she said we're grimy. So forth and so on. So
Mm,
thank you. I want to thank you. From the trick
mm.
to the whole. Thank you. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So anyway, the
Mm-hmm.
thing here is that these are not conventional relationships. So when you start talking about how can you tell if they're really down, well, it depends on how can you tell if any woman's down with you. How can you tell if any woman really, really likes you? They're going to show you that they like you. They're going to show you that, they're interested. They're going to make that investment, because it's like there's a girl that I was dating, once upon a time. Her thing was, okay, she was always looking for little ways to help me. She was
Mm-hmm.
always looking for little ways to promote my cause. She was always looking for ways to boost my position. So I know from her actions that she's down for me because she's doing things that would help me prosper. It's like sort of like a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what they're doing um, is a situation to where they're telling you, look, I got your back, I got your back and I got your front. Just go ahead and do what you got to do. So that's how they let you know, they invest in you, they put some skin in the game, they let you know, they tell you. And we gotta she's in here confessing tonight, Max. She says, as a whole, this is the whole now. She said,
Yeah, I
as a
know.
whole, we run the show when it comes to dealing with tricks. So in other words, what she's saying is they do the same thing to the tricks that I guess that you did to this woman, so forth and so on. you know and
Mm.
so I mean that's what it is. But and we got another one.
Well,
It's gonna be kind of live in here tonight because I think some of the women
mm-hmm.
are mortified. But this is what happens in these relationships. You have
Hey,
to
hey,
understand that
hey,
these are not
they
conventional relationships. These are not regular relationships. This is
nah,
not.
they used to regular tricks, man. They ain't used to the power trick game, man.
Nah,
That's all that
nah,
is.
nah.
They
You
used to the
know,
power trick game.
and she's
Just like what Miss Stacks was saying, I can somewhat agree with that because my chick, boss chick, she a game player, man. I mean, 95% of the niggas she run into, she get money out of them, and she ain't even gotta fuck them. You know what I mean? She just got a good mouthpiece, and she's sexy and she's sultry and whatnot. You know what I mean? She just can't run that on me because, I mean, I'm Big Mike, nigga. I'm the Fat Mack, bitch. You owe out. You know what I mean? So no matter what she do, no matter where she go, she gonna run into tricks, she gonna run into simps, and she gonna get paid. But I'm making residuals off of her every week. You know what I mean? I never had her on the blade. She was strictly doing shit on the internet. But I try and make amends for some of the grimy things I've done. You know what I mean? Just like I told you, her daughter is one of the females that I'm adding my money into the kitty, into the pot to help her buy books and tuition for college. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't never gonna leave me, man. She ain't never gonna stop fucking with me, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and I don't even require her to have sex with me no more.
well,
Shit, she
yeah,
done put in enough. She done put enough skin in the game where we beyond that shit now.
Well, and this is the gift that keeps on giving, because she's back
Right.
tonight. She's talking about power tricking is false. We allow y'all to think y'all got power. That's funny.
Well, I can't necessarily go against that too with your typical tricks. But she can think what she want to think as pertaining to us. I mean, we got receipts, nigga. You know what I mean? MacCity.com, full of receipts showing you that no doubt that Big Mike is running shit and them bitches wasn't running nothing.
Well, and then this is another thing, but this is a cautionary tale, though. This is what
Mm-hmm.
happens. This is what happens. This is how dudes generally deal with hoes. Although,
Mm-hmm.
they like to be heroic. Women like Misha Stacks they like to be heroic. They like to make it seem as though, the whole rides away in the sun, in the Maserati, with her money, but that's not how that ends. That's not how that
Mm-hmm.
ends. Because again, sex is a depreciable asset, and not all tricks are created equal. There are some tricks that have more game than the hoes. And that's the one thing that is left out. This is how dudes actually talk about hoes. The same way hoes talk about tricks behind their back, this is the
Mm-hmm.
same way tricks talk about hoes behind their back. So it all washes out in the end, and truthfully, nothing will overcome the normalcy of a long-term relationships, because all this shit is shadows. But what it is finding a way to win amidst some really fucked up circumstances. It's taking lemons and making lemonade. It's
Mm-hmm.
playing your low pair and still coming up aces with what you have. But is it sustainable in long terms, in terms of marriages and communities? Of course not. Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
It's for entertainment purposes only. It's for I can't say that enough. It's for entertainment purposes only. Okay. So that leads to a um, question that my man Brian Jenkins said. He said, when do you account for inflation with regards to the 75? Well, I mean, that's a little tough, because see, these days, I'm not I'm kind of slowing down on the 75 thing, because there's some other projects that I'm working on. So I really don't, I've done that with these hoes. I've been out here doing that shit with these hoes, and it's really getting kind of tiring, because the game is repetitive. When you're dealing with ratchets, the game is repetitive. They don't offer anything new. There's no happy ending to that. So because it's repetitive, the shit gets kind of trite. It gets kind of stale. It gets kind of boring. So, it's all the same. It's all the same. What you just heard here. What you just heard here is typical. Oh, I'm upset that you missed my birthday. I'm upset. I'm upset. And then when you confront her and say, well, you missed my birthday. I don't remember you doing too much slick shit for my birthday. Well, that's different. That she didn't want to talk about that, right?
Nah, she won't talk about that. Mm-mm.
You
Not to
know.
mention, she didn't want to talk about 2 weeks ago when I took her ass out to eat, and we sitting down and eating, and just, she sprang on me like, "Ooh!" and she bring out her phone and she shows me a picture of her hugged up with some nigga. Talk about, "Ooh, look who I met." You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Ah, cool." You know what I'm saying? Who is he? And I'm inquiring about it, and I ain't tripping about it. What me and her do is business. You know what I mean? But it's like she was trying to flaunt the nigga in my face or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about that shit, man. So I'm like, okay, cool. You got you another nigga, fine. But this goes to the fellas, man. You gotta know what kind of animal you're dealing with. Since I've been dealing with her since '06, I know that she's not the type that's gonna hang around for no meaningful relationship. So it don't matter who the hell she show me, I know that this is temporary. And whenever she fuck with me, it's probably gonna be for a lifetime because I'm the only one to really understand this bitch. You know what I mean? All these other dudes just coming in through the back door and thinking they got a good girl. Or, because she does kind of like put on the air of kind of like a good girl. You know what I mean?
But she's not a good
Educated,
girl. But she's not a
but
good
she
girl.
ain't a good girl.
She ain't a
Not
good
even
girl.
close.
So let
No,
me
she
say
is
that,
not. You know what I'm
because
saying?
we got
Yeah.
Nicole Michelle is in here, and she'll be jumping up and
Oh
down.
hell, here we go.
She's not a good girl. See there? Y'all
Uh-huh.
talking about her, that's not a good girl. She's a ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a cautionary tale for the women in here that are straight laced. this is a cautionary tale for the good girls. You don't want to end up in this type of conversation. This is your children's story. This is your moral tale. This is where you don't want to end up. So I gotta say that because you know how Nicole is. Nicole will be in here.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I mean. Y'all love ratchets. Y'all love these hoes. Y'all want these hoes. I knew it, Maceo. I knew it. I knew it. No, no. This is how you deal with ratchets. This is not how you deal with, a woman that you have a substantive relationship with. So let me make that clear. Okay. So, it's and while we at it, why don't you give these people a little background as to how you actually met that girl? I know, from the journal log, I remember when you
Right.
met her, but give them a little
Mm-hmm.
background as to her personality and her character, and how she is and so forth and so on.
Man, well, I actually met her through, you remember a little bit, right?
Yeah, I remember a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually met her through Lil Bit. I was doing a video photo shoot with Lil Bit, and shoot, boss bitch came over, and it was funny, man, because she looked like a little schoolgirl. This is back in 2006, right? And she was just so small and petite, and she was kind of looking a little rough around the edges, and she literally looked like a little girl. And I didn't really pay her no mind because she looked underage and a motherfucker, right? But I'm upstairs doing my thing with Lil Bit, taking the pictures, and then next thing I know, she come back upstairs. Boss bitch come back upstairs looking totally different, man. She done went and got dolled up, put the makeup on, put the wig on, and I'm like, God damn. And then, you could tell she was campaigning, man. She wanted to know what was going on and how she could get on. But I was like, man, I got to see some ID from you, because when I first initially seen it, it looked like she didn't even like she was in high school. She was just that small, petite, and young looking. And I went ahead and looked at her ID. She was legit. I think, she was just now. She was like in her upper 20s, I believe. And from then on, it was crazy, man, because she let me know that she was in and out of a relationship with some white dude. And then just me listening to her talk, she sounded like she was from the suburbs. She didn't sound hood or ratchet or whatever. And I actually met her dude. Well, really, she tried to gloss like it wasn't her dude. But then again, through meeting this dude, I kind of deduced that he felt that they was in a relationship. And from then on, it was rocky, man, because I typically don't mess with females that got dudes. But homegirl, man, her game was just so, bruh. Because we actually tried to do a real bona fide relationship at first. You
Yeah,
know what
how
I
did that
mean?
work out? How
And
did that work out?
it didn't work out too
Tell the
well,
people how
man,
that worked
because
out. Tell them why it didn't work.
nah, well, because like I would go over to her crib, man, and I would see like me, I'm kind of paranoid, you know what I mean? I come from a military background, right? So I always do recon.
Right.
And I'm always thinking, especially when I was heavy in the game, I think I'm gonna get set up or whatever. So I was posted outside of her spot one day, and for like an hour, man, I was up outside of her spot. And then I seen like two dudes going in and out of her crib. You know what I mean? I'm like, who? And you don't know who it could be. It could be cousins, brothers. It could be relatives. You don't know. But I'm just looking at them, and they was, kind of older cats. Man, I'm just going with my spidey senses, and I'm like, I bet you, $1 to a bucket of shit to do some tricks or some sugar daddies or something, man. And so she invited me to come over. Right. As soon as them dudes had left, she had coordinated the time so well that the dudes had left, and then I pulled up, and then I went on in there, and I didn't even say nothing about how I was seeing the dudes coming in and out. I'm just Rolodexing it, man, putting it in the back of my mind, filing it and shit. And then I don't know what it is about these females, but she had to go to the emergency room. She wasn't feeling well, just like with Hydra a couple days ago. So I ended up taking her to the emergency room, and we sitting there and we holding hands and everything. I'm just trying to flesh this out to see if this might be real. You know what I mean? My spidey senses was like, this shit ain't real, but I still got to try it. So we sit down, holding hands. Lo and behold, one of the tricks or sugar daddies I was going in and out of her house, show up at the emergency room, coming in to check. And then it was just funny, man, because as soon as she seen that dude, she immediately pulled her hand back and then just, jumped up and sat on another seat, like, put a seat between me and her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was
Right.
like, oh, okay, this is what you want, bitch. Okay, then. So right then and there, I knew what I was dealing with, man. I knew I was dealing with a game player. I knew I was dealing with a hoe. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if that's how you gonna play it, that's what we gonna do. And I never let on that I knew that she had this dude or that dude, because I was basically looking just to put her to work. And the rest is history. I just kept putting her to work, using her. Some would consider some of the stuff I did to her abuse. But she's kind of like going that shit. She's one of them chicks where if she ain't arguing, she ain't fussing, if she ain't fighting, if she's not indulging in some sort of abusive relationship, she ain't happy. You know what I mean? So every now and then I had to get what she was asking for, man. And to this day, as you can see, she ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? She calling me, just want to argue about stupid shit. You want to argue with me about your birthday, bitch? And you don't do shit for my birthday. And then 2 weeks ago, you flaunting some nigga in my face. Look at me and my new man. Look at me and my new man. I'm like, give a fuck about you and your new man. You know what I mean? And so then when I miss your birthday, now all of a sudden, oh my God, that the world done came to an end. Bitch, crazy, man. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I've been rolling with her. And then don't get me started with uh other dudes, man, coming in. This is when MySpace was jumping, man. There was so many dudes just trying to get at her, man, on some personal shit. Then some dudes trying to get at her on some business shit. And it was just a headache. Really, I was glad that me and her just kept it business, because I would not have been able to really maintain my sanity with someone as pretty and as sensual and seductive as she is. Because everywhere I went, dudes was just at her, man. They just at her. I'm like, God damn, man. And I got, like I said, I got that PTSD, boy. And it's been a couple times where I went ahead and served niggas over her, boy. Because one time we went to the what was that, gas station. Some dude commented on her ass and her tits. Like, damn, bitch, look at your ass and your titties. Then she came back and was like, such and such says about was commenting on my ass and my titties. And I'm thinking to myself, well, sucks to be you. You know what I mean? Because we wasn't together. We was just business associates. You know what I mean? She
Right.
had a man during that particular time. Like, what I'm gonna do? Go up there, start a fight with this nigga, get shot, get killed, or possibly kill him, and now I'm in prison, and you out here sucking and fucking multitudes of niggas? Nah, bitch, won't be me. No, man. But yeah, that's the kind of deal with when you get a bad bitch on your team, boy. And I was kind of happy not to, indulge in a real serious relationship with her.
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah,
then of
man. But
course
yeah, she's always. Go
there
ahead.
was B Rad.
Oh
B
yeah, I
Rad.
feel bad about B Rad. I
B
feel bad
Rad.
about B Rad.
B Rad. You know.
He was a cool dude,
B
man.
Rad from
B
Malibu
Rad.
Most Wanted.
Yeah, he was always looking out for her, man. He was always making sure she was all right, always making sure she was tight, man. And I felt bad because I knew deep inside my soul that they was together, but I chose to ignore it because, I wanted the bitch. You know what I mean? I like, man, I got to have this bitch. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
so it's very rare that I actually look a man in his eye and shake his hand and stab him in his back, but that's kind of what happened with me and B Rad. Because I basically told him, I like, man, I don't be scoping on other dudes' broads like that, man. But shit, she just kept enabling it, man. I can't blame her because I knew the bitch was lying. She kept saying, no, we ain't together, we ain't together, we ain't together, when all the signs were saying that they was together. And I just chose to ignore it and shit. So yeah, he was kind of upset about that when he found out that initially we was trying to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and then it kind of dissolved into just business. But
But
yeah, he
here's the
hated my
thing
guts
though.
after that.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing though. I found it odd, right? That he was supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be her dude. This was a white boy. B Rad, for the record, for the chat. B Rad was her dude. That was her boyfriend. He was a white boy. He was a wigger. He was a wigger. You know, he was a typical. He was Tommy from Ghost, except he wasn't really that gangster. He had the nigger Corvette, the Dodge 300 Charger, the standard nigger Corvette with the rims spinning. He always reeked of weed. You know, he was an honorary nigga. But the thing was, this nigga would actually call you and ask you how you get her to suck your dick on camera. I thought
I
that was
remember
the
that.
most surreal shit ever.
Yeah, I remember that. Because, let her tell it. I thought she was just blowing smoke up my ass because she said she wasn't having sex with him. And you know how females are. They lie about so much shit. Who can tell? You know what I mean? So if a female tell you, I've only had sex with 3 dudes, typically I multiply that by 3. You know what I mean? Shit. So it's like, heifer, you know what I mean? So she was saying that, we don't even have sex. We don't even do nothing. And it turns out that she wasn't lying. He called me up one day and I could hear the stress and the pain in his voice because she wasn't having sex with him. And he kept asking me, like, what's the deal, man? Like, well, what make you so special where she'll do all this bullshit with you on camera, but she won't even fuck me in private? You know what I mean? And I
Wait a
was
minute, but
kind of,
you was tricking though, Mac. How is that possible?
I know that. Well, it ain't what you do, is how you do it, man. Shit. Like I said, see, a female that's worth her salt, that's got some sense, will know if you tricking because you don't have no choice or you tricking just because you got it like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't the type of nigga that I was tricking because I didn't have no options or had no choices. Remember, I was married at the time. I had in-home pussy if I wanted it. You know what I mean? And not meant to mention that, I also had as a bona fide side chick, you know what I mean, while being married. And then also I had females that I was working with on the pimp shit. So I had tons of pussy, man. You know what I mean? And so when I got into the porn shit, that transaction is all about you giving the woman money for her to put in work on film. So that kind of translated to the tricking. And the females knew that I wasn't tricking because I couldn't get no pussy. You know what I mean? So it was no slight on my manhood when I was doing it. And to this day, most females who know me know that when I do that trick shit, it's not because I can't get no ass. It's just because we doing a business transaction and that's all it is. You know what I mean? And I can get
Right.
ass without tricking. You know what I mean? I'm just doing business.
Uh, well, for the record,
Mm-hmm.
I told you. I said that bitch got a whorish soul. Didn't I tell you that? I said that bitch got a whorish soul.
You talking about boss?
Yeah. So
Oh
that
yeah,
bitch
no
got a
doubt.
whorish soul.
No
And she
doubt,
was
man.
another one that was her mouthpiece was real flattering. She really knew
Mm-hmm.
how to marinate that fish. I mean her mouth was sweet. Her mouth was sweeter than sugar diabetes. I mean, it was sweet. She was very flattering, very accommodating, and but when the rubber met the road, it seemed to be from the journal logs. It was always a lot of shit, you know, with her when the rubber met the road, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be a demonstration of fake, but then it's not really because there are those moments when, you know, you get to see them when they break down, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you get to see them in moments when they really, really fucked up. But it's a little hard to read because you are in this role where you're not exactly a boyfriend. You're not
Mm-hmm.
exactly a husband, but you're the closest thing to stability that they got, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's game, sometimes it's real, and sometimes it's game. So what I guess I'm trying to say is it correct to say that the shit ain't absolutes? It's just basically a mixed bag of tricks.
Mm-hmm. Man, like I said, I don't stop trying to make sense of how these women think, man. That shit is crazy. I'm like, what? And I had something on my mind I was about to say, but I just done plumb forgot. I don't know what I was gonna say.
That's the
Oh
buck.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna talk about as far as her game is concerned. Remember, I was talking about how, if a female don't like you, she won't touch you. There'll be like no
right,
physical contact. Well,
right.
she ain't that type of chick, man. She will she'll be rubbing her, running her fingers through your hair and, caressing your face and you know what I mean? Well, I can't necessarily say that about me as far as her not being attracted to me and doing that, because she was genuinely attracted to me, man. Because she likes big dudes. And for all you cats out there that feel hopeless because you got a little extra pounds on you, there's females out there that dig, burly dudes, and she's one of them. So she's always had an attraction for me. But I've seen her go to work in other places with other dudes, and man, she's a game player, man. She know exactly what to say. She'll go right in for the kill, be touching on you, holding your hand, rubbing her fingers through your hair, all that kind of shit, man. And it don't take long for her to get your money. Remember my boy Oscar Faltimo?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
She got that nigga for 4 stacks, man. He thought that he was going to actually turn her against me,
Yeah,
but her get
yeah, go ahead,
So
because that
what?
story, I wanted the people that story, that was a motherfucking story there. That was a story.
Okay. Let me see here. I got a partner, or at least I thought I had a partner. I met him maybe like 2 times. He lived in Baltimore, Maryland, and this is back when VHS tapes was still popping, and we used to like trade VHS tapes with females on it and shit, man. And I sent him a couple of chicks down there that wanted to do work with him. So that was the extent of our relationship. And I actually chaperoned one female down there, and shit, man, it came down to the point where he had seen Donna and he had seen Nish. I ain't even gonna go into the Nish one. We'll just go straight to Donna. Before I sent Donna down there, I told him, look, I'm gonna go ahead and send you this chick, man, but let me warn you. Once she gets down there, have your guard up because she's a game player, man. She'll get your money and have you looking stupid. You know what I mean? So for everybody who's thinking I was pimping them while I was doing that, I was not pimping them because, of course, if I was pimping him, I would have told her to clean that nigga out and get all his money. But I was trying to warn him, like, man, like, don't sleep on her. All right. So he gets down there, or she gets down there, and push comes to shove, she's talking greasy about me behind my back. She's like, Big Mike think he this, Big Mike think he that, he think he got bitches, he think he running shit. You know what I mean? She's talking all that shit to him, but unbeknownst to her, this is gonna get kind of complicated. My boy Oscar, who she running the game on, he got a baby mama, and the
Mm.
baby mama is always around him. And so she hears Donna talking all this shit about me, and lo and behold, the baby mama actually had a crush on me. So she's calling me talking about what's going on with Oscar and Donna, and why is she talking this and that about you, and talking real greasy about you. And I'm like, what word? And she's like, yeah, they over there just talking crazy about you. And I'm like, okay. She like, something don't seem right. I'm like, all right. So basically, what was happening was this nigga was trying to, he was a sucker for love ass nigga. He was trying to get close to her because he wanted her. He was trying to take her. You know what I mean? But I warned him before she got up there, like, she gonna weave a spell over you and have you doing dumb shit. Don't fall for it. But he ended up falling for it, man. So long story short, there was a STD scandal.
Hmm.
How both uh her and him ended up burning each other, and Oscar had a wife and the wife got burnt, and you know what I'm
So
saying,
whoa,
and
whoa, whoa.
everybody
Let
was
me slow
thinking,
that down. Let me slow that
yeah,
down. Let me slow that down.
okay,
Let's go back here. First of all, she was seducing Oscar.
yes,
She was seducing him with fake submission,
mm-hmm,
acting like she was really into him, acting really
yeah,
agreeable and cooperative. I guess what
mm-hmm,
some of the cats would say, fake femininity or fake submission. She was actually absolutely playing the role with him while
mm-hmm,
dissing you.
yes,
And she
mm-hmm,
wound up burning him, and he
mm-hmm,
actually took the infection back and burned his wife. Is that
yes,
correct?
yes,
And the thing was that they thought that you were the source, because what was it? I know it had to be Big Mike because he
yeah,
fucking all them
yeah,
nasty hoes.
yeah. They thought I was ground zero because I was boning Donna on a regular before I sent her on up there. You know what I mean? But bruh, I mean, I'm the safest one of the safest niggas you want to, you know, have sex with, because I'm always getting checked out. That's my job. You know what I mean? To be STD free, because I was always getting checked out, man. But yeah, they was quite sure that it was me. And so I'm like, nah, it ain't me. Because we went to the doctors and everything. I got a clean bill of health, and it was just her, and it was
And
just
him.
Oscar, and it was just, yeah, it was just all them.
And she
And
had
that was
him,
a funny part,
she had subsequently, yeah, cleaned him
man.
out, didn't
A
she?
$4 grand. She had, yeah,
She
she
had
had promised him that
subsequently
she was going to
cleaned
move
him
back
out of
up.
4 grand.
Yeah. See, he had came down to see us before she was going to Baltimore, but she, as soon as she felt that, the jig was almost up and he wasn't necessarily going to buy what she was selling, you know what I mean? She basically told him that he need to come see her, and she wove a spell about her car was breaking down and it needs this and that, or she ain't gonna be able to drive and she gonna lose her job and shit. And he came down here and forked out like $4 grand to get her car fixed, but it wasn't nothing wrong with her goddamn car, man. She just pocketed that money and shit, man.
Wow.
And then, like I said, but she took that money. It was contingent on the fact that she had promised him that she was gonna move up to Baltimore and be with him. Mm-hmm. And I
Mm.
was just like, nigga, she's not gonna do that, man. And then when I told him we need to get on the phone and check this bitch, man. You know what I mean? Because Oscar's baby mama kept calling me and telling me about the bullshit that she was saying, right? But of course, when I went ahead and I checked Donna, I'm like, what the fuck are you saying about me behind my back? Baby, I'm just running game. I'm just trying to get in this nigga's pockets. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I need to because like I said, I had this conversation after I tried to get on the phone with her with Oscar and check her on the shit she was saying, but Oscar was too much of a bitch to get on the phone, check her and shit, man. So to this day, there's no telling just how much venom she really had against me. You know what I mean? Because each time I would send a female up there to see him, I would always get females coming back saying, man, this dude low-key jealous of you, because every time we get to doing something, he always bring your name up and he always talking about what make Mike so special, why y'all fuck with Mike. And it was like, yeah, he low-key hating on you. And that's the same thing Donna had told me. And she said that when she heard that, she just wanted to clean the nigga out. But I was just
Mm.
like, like, I don't know. My gut's telling me that half that shit you was spitting, you felt it. But yeah, basically, I mean, that's the kind of shit that I was going through yearly with all these females, man. Yearly. So I never really took them serious. And I just sat back and I just watched the money roll in, man, because like I said, I wasn't no sucker for love ass nigga, man. I was doing it just to get paid. Shit. And
And
in the process of doing that, you're going to have to deal with some stupid shit from time to time.
for the record here, this was not. He was actually putting them on camera on a website. He
Mm-hmm.
was actually getting paid off of them because he Big Mike was an amateur among many things. He was an amateur porn producer.
Mm-hmm.
MaxCity.com. So I just had to put that on the record. But she was one of the ones, and I wanted to talk about her because she was one of the ones that was so good at what guys normally talk about, faking submission, or she's just acting because she wants money. But my thing is okay, maybe there's a kernel of truth to that, but nothing is gonna keep a bitch around for 10 years, dog. We're going on
Right.
13 now. Nothing is going to keep, no amount of money, not the money that you're paying, is going to keep that broad around for 13 years. There has to be
Right.
some type of genuine affection after 13 years. Because if it was
Mm-hmm.
just the bread, she would have skated a long time ago.
Right.
If
Mm-hmm.
it was just the bread,
Right.
you know.
And if it was just the bread, because I got a homeboy, the side trickster, man, one of my best friends that rode with me, and he got a lot more money than I got. You know what I mean? Pulling way over. Well, I won't say way, but he pulling in 6 figures easy on his job, and females don't want to fuck with him. You know what I mean? And he'll break them off a nice little chunk of change, but they don't want to fuck with him. So it's not about the money, man. It's a good bit of psychology that go into this. And plus, I have a genuine love and concern for many of them, man. Which
I'm
which
glad.
goes against the G code for most of these niggas. But That's the glue to my game right there.
Man, fuck that. They go against that G code. Get out of here with that shit. They go against
Mm-hmm.
that G code. But anyway, I'm not even gonna
Mm-hmm.
get started on that. But I'm so glad you said that. You said it was about it's about psychology, because so many times
Mm-hmm.
they say that, if you are not a select dude, or if you lack, maybe you're not physically appealing, or if you are so-called a trick, that you are somehow that I think they've confused tricking with simping. They think that that means
Mm-hmm.
that you're simping. They think that when we deal with women, we don't employ or use a degree of psychology when we deal with them. That it's just
Mm-hmm.
simply we're just running up to them saying, "I have this money. Will you please fuck me? I have X amount of,"
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like that at all. It is not like that at all. You get over by being yourself. You get over by being dependable. You get over by being reliable. You get over by being orderly. You get over by being straight laced. So I know somebody's gonna say, "Well, Tony, why would you say you're getting over?" Here's why: because the niggas that they are in love with are irresponsible. The niggas that they are in love with, so-called in love with, are reckless. The niggas that they are so-called in love with are unstable. The niggas that they are in love with are financially irresponsible. These niggas are
Mm-hmm.
mentally unstable. They are intellectually and socially and emotionally dwarfed. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you get over by being the opposite. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? If I would like these guys, the guys in this room and the girls in this room, to try one thing for the guys, put 6 8s in a corner. Put 6 8s in the corner. Put 7 women in the corner. Let 6 of them be 8s and one of them be a 5. Who do you think is going to get more attention in that crowd? The 8s or the 5s? It's going to be the 5, because it's what sticks out in the human mind. It
Mm-hmm.
is what sticks out and appeals to people, that's different, that is attractive. So if this chick is dealing with a bunch of niggas, if this chick is dealing with a bunch of niggas that are incompetent, that are unreliable, that are disrespectful, that are mentally and emotionally unstable, that are financially irresponsible, that are mentally infirmed and handicapped, the dude that comes along that is the opposite of those things are going to stand out from the niggas that she's used to dealing. Now, does that mean she's gonna bow down to that nigga? No, I didn't say that. I said that that dude would stand out. Does it mean that that dude will necessarily be able to have the psychology to be able to break this? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he will stand out because he's different. That's the only thing I'm saying. He stands out because he's different. You win by being original, not by trying to copy the other niggas that's lining up to bang her. That's not how you win with that broad. You don't win with that broad by trying to be like him. So when Mac tells y'all, he said, "Well, I have genuine love for the broad. I have compassion for him. I have this and that." That doesn't mean that he gonna let that bitch get over on him. That doesn't mean that he's gonna let that bitch sit up and run game on him constantly. That doesn't mean he's gonna sit up and let this woman just disrespect him till the cows come home. That's not what that means. He's not gonna become that bitch's emotional punching bag. That's not what that means either. What it means is he's night and day difference than what she's used to dealing with. That's why they're coming back. It's not that money. It's the fact that he's a different kind of person than the niggas that they're used to dealing with. Because even though some women have clutched their pearls tonight because they heard you say some egregious shit, that the Hydra sucking dick with that ring around her eye, I'm sure they clutched their pearls on that one. But but what it was is that even with all that shit, he was still more kind and compassionate than the nigga that put the ring around her eye. He was
Mm.
still more kind and compassionate than the nigga that she ready to take the case for. He was still more kind and compassionate than the average nigga that don't give a fuck about her. He's different than what she's used to. That's why, that's why the so-called non-select guy wins. That's why there's no such thing as select guy supremacy. Understanding to a certain extent that women are always going to have a hierarchical structure of men of what they find sexually attractive. There are men that women are going to find sexually appealing and sexually enticing and enthralling. I'm not going to deny that. Just like niggas want a fat ass, just like niggas want a fat ass and big titties and some nice lips. Well, the bitch want a washboard stomach, and want a nigga with a tight ass and some pecs. It's similar. They have desires. So if it's a situation where it's just a short-term game, your money doesn't matter. If it's a short-term game, because if she's choosing strictly for the aesthetic of personal and sexual attraction, that nigga's gonna win. The only way you beat a guy like that, the only way you beat a guy, here now is your lesson for tonight. The only way you beat a guy like that is to be the opposite of what he is. Because that dude in the black community, for the most part, not in every case, in the black community, those niggas seem to be the most irresponsible, the most unreliable, the most unstable niggas in creation. So by you being yourself and exercising just a little bit of psychology, just a little bit of psychology, you can come up aces in that scenario. And that's what you've heard here tonight. I mean, you heard this shit played out live. You heard this woman call and complain about a birthday. You missed my birthday. I'm upset. I'm upset about that. Why would she be so upset about that? If it's just, if he's just a mere trick, why would she be? You must have been with some bitch. You must have been with isn't that what she said? You must have been with some bitch. Why is she jealous of the trick?
Man, shit.
Why would she be jealous of the trick? If he were just a trick, why would she be jealous? So it's more here than meets the eye. It's not as simple as, and I know some niggas gonna listen to this and some niggas gonna say, well, y'all trying to make yourself out to be players. Y'all trying to be players. Who y'all think y'all are? Y'all are not players. Y'all are tricks. Y'all are not players. That's what you never got. It's not about being a player. It's about being yourself. You win by being yourself. I didn't say you win by being naive. I said you win by being yourself. That's why the whole non-select versus select, that shit makes no sense to me. That's why, to me, it's always been a false dichotomy. And when they were talking about alpha and beta, I knew what that shit was. What it means is those are just the niggas that they're sexually attracted to. It doesn't mean alpha in any standard sense of under any standard definition. It's just somebody that physically is sexually attracted to. That's all that is. Both the genders, both sexes have preferences. Both people have both genders have sexual preferences as to who they want to fuck. That's all it is. It's nothing to get bent out of shape about. It's just basic biology. So using psychology and understanding who you're dealing with, there's no substitute for that. There's no substitute for that. So, dealing with this chick, you just heard him explain how this chick is. Her mouthpiece, she is deadly with her mouthpiece unless you know how she rolls, unless you know how she gets down. You understand? So in one facet, he goes through that shit. It's something he has to deal with. You got to deal with her slick ass mouth, but the game is okay. I'm gonna deal with her slick ass mouth, but at some point, yeah, I'm gonna put my balls on her chin. What is the end game? So what did you want to add anything, brother?
Nah, man. I like to say, like, damn, did I make all the women leave the chat, nigga?
I think they're gone, man. I think they're mortified. I think they're horrified.
Did I scare off the ladies, nigga?
I think they're gone. I think they're gone. They're out of here. They're clutching their pearls. I think they left. I think they're clutching their pearls. They left. I don't think we got a woman left in here. Yeah, the
Oh,
last person I see is Lou
yeah.
Lee, and I think Lou Lee got the hell up out of here. I don't think they're here anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Nah, man,
So,
shit, man. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for any woman to deal with me, man. I got a bad habit of keeping a little bit too 100, man. Just a little bit too 100, and that's really the appeal of the females that I fuck with for the most part,
hmm
because they ain't no punk, man. They ain't no bitch. You know what I mean? As far as how they live, and they not sensitive to the point where I got to sugarcoat shit. You know what I mean? And that's the appeal that I have with the females that I'm fucking with, man. The majority of females out here, they too sensitive, man. And I don't have time for that shit, man. You know what I mean? I hit a motherfucker with the real and let them know how shit is. And people that they can't digest the shit, they go crazy, man. So a lot of people have asked me, like, why do I deal with certain facets of the black community as far as women of this nature, of this ilk. And that's one of the appealing aspects of it, man. They ain't on no punk shit, man. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, okay, I hear what you're saying, Big Mike. Okay, I can respect it. Let's move on. For the most part, they still women and they still illogical as fuck. But I don't really have to deal with a whole bunch of irrational, emotional shit. They still women, and you gotta deal with case in point, that stupid ass phone call I just got. You know what I mean? But for the
yeah,
most
yeah.
part, yeah, for the most part, I deal with that shit when it comes to the females that I deal with.
Well, and then there's, again, I I sort of I don't have a whole lot of reverence for niggas that they tell one side of the story. They only talk about
Mm-hmm.
they only talk about the conquest, but they don't talk about the consequences. And that's one thing
Mm-hmm.
that's really always set us apart from everybody else. Because we
Right.
didn't give a damn about portraying the role. We were always interested in telling the truth. And so from the
Mm-hmm.
gate, we've always said that nobody's safe. Not even the so-called select nigga, he's not safe. Not even the select dude is safe. Nobody is safe. Nobody is
Mm-hmm.
safe. So, a lot of dudes, again, they're interested in telling the story of the conquest, but they don't talk about all the shit that come with that. They don't talk about the mud. They don't talk about the phone calls that you just got. They don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
the STD scam. They don't talk about the credit card scam. The one with
After.
yeah, her. How
Mm-hmm.
she had really been agreeable for like 8 years. She was
Mm-hmm.
basically the perfect side chick. But then you give
Mm-hmm.
her your card one time, and that goes to show you, I don't know, either she was being compassionate or she was
Mm-hmm.
extremely stupid. Because if
Right.
she had your card and the only thing this bitch did was order a pizza and pay a phone bill,
Mm-hmm.
okay, was it she was just doing that because she was hard up? Or was it just a situation to where she just saw an opportunity to get over? You see.
I can't say she was hard that day, man. I just broke her off $60, man. So, and she used a credit card that day and pilfered off another $100. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Okay.
bitch, I give you money all the time. Why you stealing from me?
Why
You
would
know
you
what I mean?
take what I would freely give you, in other words?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking there was another nigga in her ear, man, or another ratchet bitch,
It's
and they
usually
was weaving tales.
when stuff like that happens, it's always what we call a disturbance in the force. It's
Mm-hmm.
always when you see stuff like that happening, when a female gets brand new on you, it's usually another dick in the mix, because females keep
Right.
dingling on the periphery in the culture that we're in now, where nobody is really interested in long-term relationships. Females keep a dingling on the periphery, and what they're doing now is they're dating like dudes. Women now date like dudes, so
Mm-hmm.
they got to do. But the problem is that they can't get it off as effectively. Here's what I mean. Like what some dudes would do. Some dudes will have a girl that is, she's what they call smart. She's respectable. She has a stable income. She has good credit. She gives him legitimacy. That's one girl. Then he
Mhm.
has another girl that will come over and wash and clean his house and cook for him. Wash his clothes, clean his house, and cook for him. Then he has another girl that will come over that's just strictly she's a bird. She's a bird. She's a chicken head. She's a ratchet. She's a thought. She's there. She's a fuck bitch. She's just there to be wore out, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of dudes will date, three different women for three different purposes. But the problem is that in the black community, most niggas are broke. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Most
Yeah.
niggas are just getting by. So what has happened is the nigga that is consistent, the nigga that has a stable income, the nigga that is somewhat on the square in terms of how he governs himself, is he if he's dependable, if he's responsible, if he's reliable, that dude from the long-term perspective is more stable and is preferable for the long-term perspective for that chick, and she can see long-term value in him, even if she isn't able to totally appreciate his worth. She
Mhm.
knows that he's valuable, but she can't comprehend the depth of his worth. That dude will be looked at as different, because look at like the Uncle Mike scam. The
Mhm.
Uncle Mike scam. All these shit. Well, who is that? That's just my Uncle Mike.
Mhm.
This nigga called me. He was like, "Hey, uh, After called me from jail, and she said her Uncle Mike recommend." And I'm on the phone cracking up because I'm
Mhm.
knowing, what this is. Her Uncle Mike. You know. So
Mhm.
this thing about a cat being stable, being more on the square, it doesn't make him more likely. She's not going to give him respect just because he's stable. She learns to respect him because he's stable if he shows her that he can be respected. Women will always respect power, period. Women will always respect power. And in these little hood relationships, these little hood situationships that we find ourselves in, women will always gravitate toward that nigga that is the most stable. Now, does that mean she's not going to be turned on by the nigga with the arms and the pecs? No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means. Her sexual attraction and her degree of long-term respect, those are two entirely different things. Okay, that doesn't mean that she's not gonna mess with Man and Duracell or the niggas on the block. That's not what that means. That means that the longer the relationship goes with that girl is always going to swing towards that nigga that's more reliable. She's always going to swing towards that nigga that's more respectable, because Man and Duracell and the so-called select nigga, they're short-winded, they're temporary, they're here in the flash, they're gone in the flash, they're lightning niggas, they're not going to stay around. That's what that means. And that's why these hoes are calling this nigga up 10 years later asking about a goddamn birthday that ain't even here yet. That's why that
Mhm.
happens. It doesn't mean, so some dudes will take that to me, and I know why they're saying that, because they know if them bitches deal with just a little logic, them niggas would be homeless, sleeping in their cars and in the streets. So the tricks are kind of like a threat to them, because a lot of these niggas are living off these bitches. But then what they also don't tell y'all is these niggas that are so-called living off these bitches, what they don't tell you is even the stroke game, even the so-called dick game, the so-called dick game they got. You know, bitches get tired of that shit after a while, and they'll never tell y'all that either. Kaiser Soze once said the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the masses that he didn't exist. And I say the greatest trick that some of these women are pulling on you niggas is to convince you that it's all about your dick, because it's not. That nigga has one trick. That nigga has one trick. And when he shoots that wad, he's done. When he shoots that wad, he is finished. It's over for him once he shoots that wad. And he knows it. So after a while, she's not even getting the dick. She's not even
Mhm.
getting this dick that they claim is just so great. She ain't even getting that anymore. So yeah, she'll come over and let this nigga scribble in her face and then nut in her face after he done scribbled on it. That's the scribble game, by the way. You know, yes, she will lend herself to all types of sexual depravity because the nigga who she's attracted to, the nigga who's giving her the dick, is not giving her the dick. That shit has worn thin now because he can't cover the responsibilities of being her nigga. He can't afford her and she can't afford him, but they don't know that at the time. But I'm going to tell you where they will go. They're going to go to Uncle Mike. You see, because Uncle Mike is not going to have to give blood just to pay the bitch's power bill.
Mm.
You remember that, Mac? That nigga when he
Yeah,
was talking
yeah.
all that shit, and he was over at the plasma center giving blood, just to stay with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, he was talking all that shit about me, man. Shit. Mad at me because his chick coming over, getting blessed and getting paid. But this nigga, he running back and forth to the plasma center, trying to pay her bills by him giving blood and shit. I'm like, nigga, stop with the shenanigans, man. This chick don't love you, man. She don't love you, partner, man. So stop giving blood. Stop
Yeah,
giving blood.
and then
Shit, I
they'll
was trying to hit him to some game. I was trying to give him some game, man. Shit, she over here because she can get her bills paid. Shit,
exactly,
get you a job, nigga,
exactly,
or a better one, whatever,
exactly.
something.
And then you
Mm.
have the one dude, the one scenario with the dude that was sitting there, fighting over. Here's how grimy a bitch is. Here's her so-called man fighting her baby daddy over her honor. Her baby daddy beats up her man,
Mm-hmm.
and she go fuck her baby daddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yep.
these are two select niggas now. These are two select niggas. Just to show you nobody's safe. Just to show you nobody's safe. And even that nigga, the nigga who she cheated on, he's cheating on her with dope bitches, dope fiend bitches.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yep.
So he ain't even fucking her. Here's the woman that he loved, who he claims is his wife, but he ain't even fucking her. So when they this is what kills me when they come in my face and they start talking all that shit about their stroke game. Dog, get out of my face with that. Get out of my face with that, because I know what that is. The world does not stop and start with your dingaling. It doesn't. Because if you do not provide all the other things that go along with that stroke game, you will be sniffing my ball residue when she comes back and kisses you in the mouth. There's no substitute for
Mm.
being a thorough dude. There is no substitute for being a competent nigga. It doesn't mean that you have to be a sucker. It doesn't mean that you have to be a dupe. That's why when they did that shit, I never cared that they had another dude. I never cared. They was like, well, you standing in line. I
Right.
don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm not trying to marry
We
her.
all in line, nigga.
We all in line. We all in line. What was
Mm-hmm.
that song? The hoe is mine. I'm first in line. No, nigga. I'm
Mm-hmm.
standing in line. I got my ticket. And when the ride is over, I'm gone. Next nigga, come on. But the fact of the matter is that all of those niggas that went ahead of me are gonna send her right back to me. Why? Because I'm the opposite of everything that they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the game works. Now let's go
Mm.
back. Let's go back. Let's go back to Boss Bitch. There's been OC, right? There's been B-Rad, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's been some
Right.
some mysterious street nigga named Dutchy, right? Then on top of that, there's been
Mm-hmm. Yep.
countless other so-called sugar daddies that she been fucking with. But she on your phone talking about a goddamn birthday
Mm-hmm.
present.
Mm-hmm.
She on your phone asking
Yep.
you what bitch you done been out with.
Can't believe she did that shit, man. I was like, bitch, oh, you in your feelings this week? Okay. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know.
man.
So
Uh-huh.
people say, well, money doesn't buy loyalty. They're right. Money doesn't buy loyalty. It is your character that will make a woman respect you. But I say this, it's what you do with your character. Because if you're an upstanding dude, like you said, you have compassion. If you're an upstanding dude, when she comes to you, when she comes to you and she wants that birthday present, or she comes to you and she's in a situation to where she has been cooperative, this man fulfills his role. This man
Mm.
fulfills. It's a reason why the bitch got the tattoo. You don't get a tattoo of tricks. You don't get a tattoo of a motherfucker you don't respect.
Right.
That's not how that works.
Mm.
So it's not the money, and that's what they think it is. It's the money is a means by which you show that you're a competent dude. It's the means by which you illustrate that you're stable. It's the ways by which you illustrate that you are a mature person. You pay bills. That's what anybody that's in a marriage does. They pay bills. You pay shit on time. That's what anybody that is in a relationship does. You assume responsibility. You have a degree of character, and your character is showing you, or your character is executed by your action. Your character is demonstrated. Your character is demonstrated by your actions. You demonstrate your character by your actions. There's no substitute for normalcy. They coming back to this nigga because he's the only constant in their lives. You know how many niggas done ran in and out of their lives? Mac, how many niggas done ran in
Mm.
and out of their lives?
Nigga, I don't know, boy. Shit, I ain't been keeping count of these niggas, man. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
But but a cat that's on his P's and Q's can reverse that shit and say, well, yeah, there's a lot of niggas in and out their life,
Uh-huh.
but that's only because the niggas wisened up once they got in and seen what they was getting. They was bouncing. So it's not necessarily the fact that. So what?
Well, let me address that. They wised up and seen what they
Mm-hmm.
were getting, right? Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's take her as an example. They can make that
Mm-hmm.
that argument, but let's look at her.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go very far. I'm talking about B-Rad. I'm talking about one of the
Mm-hmm.
dudes, the so-called quote unquote wisened up.
Right.
B-Rad didn't go get another bitch. He went and got her best friend, the nigga that the
Mm-hmm.
bitch that brought her to the hustle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
He didn't go and find no upscale bitch and I'm going to go settle down and get me. No, he went and got her best friend. He started fucking around with her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So and when they said, well, he wising up, motherfucker, we all fishing in the sewer. That's what I'm saying. That's been my whole point in the short term sex game. Ain't nobody in this motherfucker pure. So for when you say they wisened up and they went and found somebody, well, your argument is that okay, they're not getting over because you're not getting over because she's coming back to you, but she's also dealing with him. We all in line for the same piece of ass. So to say,
Mm-hmm.
well, okay, they wisened up or they went somewhere else because they smartened up, and I'm saying that that's usually not the case because if you deal with or look at the niggas that's on her periphery, if you deal with the niggas that's on her periphery, one way or another, it's the same type of nigga that's in her life, one way or another. If you go out with her, you know that she has another older nigga who is supposed to be the select dude, the dude who's supposed to be wiser, is still in line for that same bitch. Because nobody's really trying to get married, dog. We're in a
Right.
culture where nobody's trying to get married. So if we're in a culture where nobody's trying to get married, we're in a culture where everybody is just fucking. We can't turn around and say, well, they wisened up because they know what they got. No, they went and got another bitch just like her. They
Mm-hmm.
went and got another bitch. Ain't no, well, we wisened up. This is the hookup culture. You just went and found another thought.
Mm-hmm.
You just went and found another thought that had a shorter line waiting to get in her ass. That's all we doing out here. Let's be honest about what we doing. This ain't no, well, we wisened up and we grew up and we went and got married. No, you just went and found another bitch just like her. You replaced her with another bitch just like her. Why? Because it was too many motherfuckers in line. But you went and got essentially the same type of female. You're not trying to wife her up.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to be one of the first ones at the head of the line of rotation. So when they say, well, they wisened up, no, I would say no, they didn't wise up. You just moved on. You just went and found another bitch. You just went shopping at another
Mm.
bootleg DVD store. That's all you did,
All right.
you know.
Hmm.
So I want to come to this last chick, and we're gonna close down in a minute because we're going on 2 hours. Another chick that was featured prominently in the Mac City journal logs was Allie.
Mm-hmm.
Allie was a bitch who
Mm-hmm.
kidnapped her own kid and held her own child for ransom.
Ooh, I love you some Alley boy.
She kidnapped her own child and held her own child for ransom. This bitch carjacked police
Mm-hmm.
cars. You know, she is one of the
Mm-hmm.
grimiest niggas in create. One of the most grimy bitches in creation. But when she came around, she was real agreeable. Now, you did something. You did a little subtle display of force to let her know that you were not to be fucked with. Will you tell the people what that was, please, sir?
Okay, let's go back. And I know the Mac City players is tired of hearing this story, but let me reiterate it. This trick baby, this big titty red bone freak, man, she was known for setting niggas up to get robbed, man. And I heard that through the grapevine from certain contacts I had, man. So when I heard that she arrested and putting in some work, I went ahead and got my duffel bag together, put all my camera equipment in that joint, and I also put my 9mm in that shit. And when I went to her spot and I started unpacking all of my equipment, I waited for her to come out the bathroom, you know what I mean? Because, she was freshening up and putting on her little panties and her little lingerie and whatever. And I immediately opened up my joint, man, opened up my bag, put it on the table, and started taking out my stands and my cameras and everything. And I made sure that she seen that nine. And not only did I make sure that she seen it, I was in close proximity to it, you know what I mean? Because I was on pins and needles the whole time I was in her apartment, you know what I mean? Even when she was in the bathroom, I was going through her whole apartment, man, looking under the beds and looking in the closet, you know what I mean? And I actually wanted to have the gun in hand, which would have been smart while I was doing that, but I didn't do that. Yeah, I basically, when she got out the bathroom, and I let her see me unpacking my shit, and I let her see my nine, just to let her know lions should not hunt lions, and if you try it, it ain't gonna end well for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I did.
And that cut off a lot of shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Cause the main thing with her was, no, of course, to me she was beautiful, and I'm partial to big titty red bones, man. So these broads tend to be kind of hypnotic to me and shit. And then you add to the fact that she was super agreeable, man. It didn't matter what I asked her to do, what, how, when, where, whatever, man. She was just always yes, yes, yes. And that puts me on edge whenever I see a female doing that, because I'm not going to lie, I'm not necessarily Denzel to these broads, man. When females see me, uh they don't give me the world, put it that way. They don't give me carte blanche to just do whatever, however I want, whenever I want, man. So whenever I meet a female that's a little bit too agreeable, I'm thinking there's some sort of setup. There's a setup move.
Right,
There's something
right.
that she's trying to do. You know what I mean? That ain't good on my behalf. You feel me? She's trying to lull me to sleep. And so, of course, when I first met her, I didn't necessarily know her history, but everybody was telling me her history, man. It synced very well with what I was feeling in my gut, man. Because it was like, yeah, man, she known for setting niggas up, man, to set you up in a minute. And that's basically one of the things that females do when they set you up, man. They real agreeable, just to string you along and get you in a precarious position and have niggas jump out and pistol whip your ass.
Mm, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So these are basically, for the record, these are not upstanding good girls. For the record, let's say that these are not good girls. These are not your
Mm.
proverbial good girls. These are your mutual of
Mm-hmm.
Omaha Wild Kingdom bitches, is what it is.
Right.
These are your bitches that's really thugged out, and that was something you did basically to let her know, look, I'm not on the shenanigans, you know. And as a result, female, did you ever have any problems with her?
Hold on, you dipped out for a little bit. What'd you say?
I said, did you ever have any problems with her?
Oh no, I never had no problems with it. I never had pretty much, man. In the course of me doing this hustle, man, I can't really say I've had no real problems with any of these females, man. None of them. You know what I mean? That take me back to the hangout that we did with Watif, man. You know what I mean? Watif was like, I guess he had a pearl clutching moment, man, where he was just like, how can you say such things to these women? You know what I mean? I'm like, bruh, I like, the things that I say to these women, it's really not a big deal from where they come from, man. It's not
Mm.
it's not something that they find a pearl clutching moment, man. It's just regular. It's just how they talk. You know what I mean? So when I tell
Right.
them, if you fuck with me, yeah, I'll probably end up beating your ass. And when I say fuck with me, I mean if they end up doing something physical to me, it'll probably end up with them getting launched through the stratosphere. You know what I mean? That's typically how you got to talk to the females, where we from, because they don't respect nothing else.
Right.
And due to the fact that I went ahead and I drew the line in the sand and let them know, we're not gonna have no bullshit, no shenanigans here. That's how I showed them real love, by letting them know we not gonna play no games. And through me doing that, it made it it created an atmosphere where I did not have to put my hands on them, where I did not have to pistol whip them, when I did not have to shoot them or their cousins and their uncles and significant others and shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I mean, everything I did was premeditated. To try and put me in a situation where I did not have to take it there.
Right.
Just how we do it, man. We chess players, man. We thinking 4 or 5 moves ahead of anybody we fuck with, man. So I'm trying my best to let these bras know, look, I dig you and I fucks with you, but you're not gonna have uh, a good time over here playing games with me. The 4 or 5 niggas that you was playing with before, scratch that. I'm not that type of nigga. So
Right.
yeah, I didn't have any problems out of Allie, man. Matter of fact, when she got locked up on her kidnapping charge, man, I was kind of low key distraught about it, man, because I'm like, we was pen paling and everything, man. I was writing her, man, like, damn, keep your head up, girl. You know what I mean? Because we had a real good time, man. Of
Well,
course, every time I went somewhere with her, I kept my 9 on me, because just with the Afton shit, how Afton, me and her was cool for 7, 8 years, and you just never know when a bitch gonna flip the script. And she
right.
went ahead and went in my bank account, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? So even with Allie, it's like, yeah, we cool when I have a good time with you, and you don't never give me no shit, but you just might do something that might cost me to hurt you. You know what I mean? I had to keep
Right.
that 9 on me, man.
We got a we got, I think this is Renaissance woman from the neutral zone. We got another one of these questions again. My God. Okay. She says, so when you
Mhm.
see that kind of spirit, why do you continue? Is it thrill seeking? And then she said, the fact that you have to make a threat is a problem. So, in other words, why are you even dealing with these women? If you know that's how they are, why are you even bothering to, fuck with
Because it's a hustle. That's how I make my money. It's my job.
them? It's your job.
Simple as
Well,
that.
I don't think she knows what your job is. It
Mm.
needs to be explained to her. Big
I'm a
Mike is
mhm.
a, tell her what you are, brother.
I'm a pornographer. I was a pornographer. I'm a hood pornographer, and I find females in the hood to do porn. So
Oh,
once
and
again, going back, go ahead.
let's make it clear here what we're saying. These women are not underaged. They're not underaged. We do
For the
not
millionth goddamn time.
co-sign under sex with underage women. So let's be clear
Mm-hmm.
about that, because we know there are some slow, low IQ niggas that you know uh, misinterpret what we're saying. that we co-sign pedophilia. So please make that clear, Mac, that you're not dealing with underage children, because we have to say that. Please let them know that that's not the case.
That is not the case. I pay taxes on this shit. Shit. Pay taxes on this shit, man. Yeah. 18 and up. 18 and up,
Oh, wait,
fair
wait, wait,
game.
wait. No, 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 Mac. No, Mac. That's
Yes.
underage. That's
No,
under
18 is not
18.
underage.
18 is underage. It's underage because they're not adults until they're 30.
Some would like you to believe. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. Please don't speak that nigga's name in my chat. Do not do that. Do not speak that
Mm.
nigga's name in my chat. Don't do that. Do not speak that
Uh,
nigga's name in my chat. Flat
uh.
out.
Mm.
Flat out.
Man.
So I just wanted to make that clear that we are not talking about underage women. I want to make that clear for the slow ones. We are not talking about underage females. But anyway, I hope that answers your question. The reason why he deals with those kind of women is because he does that. I didn't bring him up, Vector. I didn't bring him up. I was explaining the situation so that it wouldn't get misconstrued. This is my chat, bruh. I talk about what I want to talk about in here. Okay? Thank you. Anyway, uh, as I was saying, I wanted it to be clear what we were talking about, because these types of things are so easily misinterpreted and misrepresented. So go ahead on, as you were saying. You said when she got locked up, you still continued to write her.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing really much more to say than that. I think we stayed in contact for about a year, and then I just moved on and shit, man, because she was doing like little squirrely shit. I guess she had a situation where she couldn't receive money. And she wanted me to put money on someone else's books so that she could go over to that person, get money off their books, and some nigga shit, man. I ain't had time for that shit, man. So I just say, hey, holler at me when you get out, man. You know what I mean? And she got out. We just lost contact. But I moved on after that, man. But Allie was always cool, man. She was good people, man. She never set me up. We had about 4 or 5 video shoots. You know what I mean? She never tried nothing stupid, man. But I think that's more or less because everybody's kind of amazed about it. They was like, damn, man. They're like, you still fucking with her? I'm like, yeah, I'm still fucking with her, man. They're like, damn. Usually, she would have burnt you by now. But like I said, I'm 4 or 5 moves ahead, and I let her know, like, it ain't gonna be no easy win. So try it if you want to. You know what I mean? So I've never really had no serious issues or problems with any of the females that I fucked with, man. Shit, just small, minuscule hiccups.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
right.
But yeah, man. And not to mention, I ain't gonna front, man. Me being a military man and just being on some goofy ass macho shit, I just can't see myself being in fear of no woman anyway. You know what I mean? So even if it wasn't a situation where it was about my hustle or about my grind or my money, I still would have chanced it. I still would have did it. You know what I mean? Because that's just the kind of shit I was on when I was like in my 20s and 30s. I don't have the energy and I don't have the testosterone for it today. But man, I was wild back then, man. I didn't get 2 fucks. I'm like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Let's get it. And that's why a lot of the females was digging me too. I mean, when I was in that sort of frame of mind in that mode back then, I couldn't keep the women off of me, man. But now that I'm on some Mr. Rogers or Mr. Robinson's neighborhood shit, I don't get the play I used to, man, because I done wisened up, smartened up, done simmered down. You know what I mean? So I just have my old diehards still fucking with me, but I don't have the amount of new blood coming in that I used to. Shit. Because that's, I mean, a lot of the black women that's in the chat, they'll probably deny this, but you know, that's what black women own. They like crazy, uncouth, ignorant niggas. And that's kind of like what I was on in my 30s, man. I did
Oh, now
not get two
you
fucks.
know they're not gonna co-sign that.
Nah,
You know
they
they're
not.
not
They
gonna
ain't gonna like that.
co-sign that.
They ain't gonna like that.
They gonna deny that. They're gonna say that's
Yeah.
not true. That's not true. I like nerds. That's not true.
My experience, man, with women, upper class, middle class, and lower class seems to contradict that. But you know, it's just my experience. Speak on theirs.
Mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, that is that's interesting. That's interesting because she hasn't been the only one. There's been a lot more. There is, for instance, Gangsta Bitch. You remember Gangsta Bitch Tanika?
Oh yeah, buddy. Uh-huh.
Gangsta
Bless
Bitch
her
Tanika.
heart.
You know, I got her
Mm-hmm.
brother out of jail, and you know he jumped
Mm-hmm.
bond on me when I got him out, right?
Yeah, you told me
Like his
that shit,
sister,
man.
because you know she ran. She caught a robbery
Mm-hmm.
case and ran.
Aggravated robbery wasn't it?
Aggravated robbery, caught an aggravated,
Yeah.
and she's on MacCity.com. Shameless plug, we know. She's on
Mm-hmm.
MacCity.com. You can go see Gangsta Bitch Tanika and her brother. I got him out. Matter of fact, they still owe me like 1750. No, I'm sorry, they still owe me 1250 on that bond. And
Mm-hmm.
he jumped bond
Man.
and ran. And you know, he
Mm.
was holed up over there off of Main Street, and the marshal shot his ass in the chest with a bean bag and gassed him and pulled him out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pulled him out of the house or whatever. And his of course his stupid ass went to jail. But the thing is that the question is, okay, well, if you know that's out there, to go back to Renaissance woman's question, if you know that's out there, why are you searching for it? So if we said that that's a lot that constitute the majority of what's out there, they'll turn around and say, well, that's not true. They'll say,
Mm-hmm.
well, not then that's when it comes in, well, not every black woman is like that. And we didn't say every single black woman was like that. Forever and ever, amen. That wasn't our point. But your position was that was your hustle. And if that was your hustle, those were the women that you had to deal with. And so you had
Mm-hmm.
to take those chances. You took those chances because that's how you was getting your paper. And it was legal at the time because pornography
Mm-hmm.
is protected under the First Amendment. Keep that in mind. Pornography is protected under the First Amendment. Pornography is
Mm-hmm.
protected under the First Amendment. So at the time, what you were saying, that just came with the hustle, in other words, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, simple as that, man. Shoot. So, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm alive in a just in a pussified era, man. Just a lot of pussy ass niggas, man. A lot of pussy ass thought processes going on here where people are like asking me, like, why would you put yourself in that position? Well, let me just go back and just say this, and me coming up, you know about my upbringing, man.
Right.
Being in school, I wasn't in a gang, but I had to deal with gangs all my life coming up through school. And then, of course, I'm a Desert Storm veteran. Worked 10 years in a prison, one of the worst close max security prisons in Southern Ohio. So I don't really know any other way to be. You know what I mean? As far as uh, some people would call it confrontational. Well, I'm not confrontational, but when I got my mind determined to do something, I'm going to do it. And I gives two fucks who's in the way, when I got to get it done. You know what I mean? So a lot of people ask me, like, why would you do this? Why would you put yourself in danger? I don't really see it that way, man. I see it as, chalk it up as some macho, corny shit, man. But I just don't let people deter me or scare me out of doing what got to be done, man. You know what I mean? Some people say you need to err on the side of caution. At that particular time of my life, I had the energy and I had the bravado and I had the equipment to defend myself. So, it is what it is. I would not do that to this day. I wouldn't do that today because I don't have that kind of energy. I don't have that sort of confidence in my fighting skills. I don't think it's worth peeling the niggas cat back over the bullshit today, but back then, nigga, let's get it. Shit, you know what I'm saying? And I mean that shit, man. I didn't get two fucks who it was. But I don't know, man. Just I think being a man is a lost art. And motherfuckers always ask me like, just the overall squeamishness of men these days, man. I ain't really feeling it, man. Shit.
Well, and that has always been my thing because dudes will say, why it's the old argument that you're messing with the lower tier women. You're messing
Mm-hmm.
with the lower tier women. And then it's like, okay, you look at, who they're fucking with or whose inboxes that they're in. It's these same lower tier women, you know, but they generally have a better disguise, but it's the same bitches.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say, well, that's what you get when you mess around with hood bitches. That's what you get when you mess around with hood bitches. And then when you look at, okay, you say, well, who are you fucking around? And it's that same hood bitch. Now her personality may be different, her characteristics may be a bit different, but it's that form of treachery, or it's that treachery in a different form. Let me say that. Okay, so maybe the bitch ain't on the system, but maybe what's happening is she playing 4 or 5 niggas off against each other, and fucking over all of them. Or it's a system, or it's a situation to where they run in some kind of scam, whether it be, a welfare scam, whether it be a tax scam, because this that time of year, for them bitches to start running them tax scams, and that type of shit. So it's generally what you see, and this is not all females. This is not all females, and it's a shame I have to say it, but nevertheless I have to. Of course, we're not talking about all women forever and ever, amen. But what we're saying is that that type, there's a lot more of that type out there than what people are willing to admit. Let me say that. And so if you intend to date or mess around with women, you can't live your life in a damn cocoon. You can't live in a bubble. Okay. If you intend to get out there and meet women and deal with women, this is what you're going to have to run up against. And you can't run every time a woman has a blemish. You can't run every time there's a little bit of ratchet shit with a female. You just can't do that, because everybody out here in this motherfucker is a little fucked up. A little fucked up. Everybody is a little fucked up. And my thing has been, why don't we just acknowledge that? Why don't we just acknowledge that everybody out here is a little fucked up? And let's get off these high horses and let's stop trying to play all spiritual. Let's stop trying to play, all beyond reproach. Because the ones that say that, or the ones that I come across, um, those are usually the grimiest females of all, and they will have good jobs. They will have, a so-called stable, a quote unquote stable future. Because I told the story about the chick I was fucking with. She was, praise the Lord, giving honor to God, and all this in my life, and all of this, and she was going back and forth between me and my nigga hustle man, and she
Mm-hmm.
came to me. I had an STD scandal with this bitch, and I'm like, I came up straight. Well, what do you? Well, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, now you don't want to talk about it anymore. And come to find out, she was juggling dicks. So okay, she wasn't robbing nobody. She wasn't holding her kid for ransom. She wasn't jacking police cars, you know. But this bitch was on some shady shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they think that you don't that you have to be the typical bonnet wearing, black lip sporting, um, cigarette burns, stab wounds and bullet holes for you to be grimy. And I'm saying that grimy bitches, that they're no respecter of class. You can find them in any class, especially in the black community where everybody's jammed here together, in the working class. And those people that are in the so-called middle class came from the working class. So we kind of have this same upbringing in terms of, or this, let me not say upbringing. We have the same environment, I should say. We're coming from the same area. We're coming from the same environment. We're coming from the same experience. So not everybody is going to be, this, as AD said, saved and sanctified person. These saved and sanctified hoes. So some of the ones that are saying, that they are saved and sanctified, those are some of the biggest hoes in creation.
Hmm.
You know, they are the most scandalous
Mm-mm-mm.
hoes in creation. So I say that to say, when people say, well, why y'all messing with women? A lot of times you show me the one that isn't like that, and the one that isn't like that is the one that's usually worse.
Shit. All I can say is I don't know no other way to be, man. I'm not intimidated by these women. You know what I mean? So a lot of cats, I guess, they intimidated by them. I'm certainly not. I mean, I'm perpetually back then locked and loaded, man.
Right,
And I stayed locked and loaded for the niggas, not necessarily the bitches. You know what I mean? But
right,
yeah,
right,
man. Like when people speak on this shit, like how why would you deal with those types of women? I like because this is my home. You know what I mean? And in my home, you know what I mean. As far as my neighborhood is concerned, that's just my general surroundings, man. This is what's normal to me. It's not nothing. Uh, I don't know. It's nothing monstrous about how they act to me. You know, because I'm used to it. This is just I'm acclimated to it, man. So yeah, I'm locked and loaded, man. You know what I mean? These females that I was fucking with on a regular basis, their behavior was normal to me. Now, to another cat that doesn't come from this environment, their behavior may be just out of pocket and reprehensible. But for me, it was the norm. You know what I mean? So
right on, right
that's
on,
all I
right
can
on.
say about it.
All right. Well, we've gone almost 2.5 hours. We're at 2 hours and 25 minutes, and I think this is a good place to shut it down right about now. I want
Mm-hmm.
to give a shout out to all of the people from the chat that made it here tonight for this topic. I'm going to change the title. It was Money, Power, Respect, but I'm going to call it True Hood Stories, starring the Fat Mack. And I'm going to change the title, and this is going to be up. I was going to put it in Patreon, but I already have something in Patreon, so I think I'm just going to leave this up.
Mm.
And I would certainly like to thank my brother, the Fat Mac, the almighty Triple XL, for coming to join me and helping me get through this, and helping me do, because this YouTube shit is new to me. Usually it's him interviewing me, but we switched it around, and now it's me interviewing him. So I want to thank him for coming on through and helping the nigga out, and so again, to all the people, I have a new channel debuting tomorrow. It's going to be called Genosha TV. I'm going to have another one of my homies from college coming through, Mr. Jay Crockett. He's actually married, so that's the channel that most of the women will probably want to check out, because we're going to do more conventional things. It's going to be 90% less niggardry. We're going to have a little bit of niggardry just to make it interesting, just a little bit of just a touch of niggardry, just to make it a little bit hilarious. But that channel is generally for the overachievers in the black community. That's for the so-called nerds and squares in the black community, because they need a place that they can gather. They need a place where they can be championed. They need a place where they're welcome, and where they're comforted and comfortable, because they're part of the community too. So Genosha TV on YouTube is my other channel. I will be there tomorrow night about around 9 or 9:30, interviewing my homeboy, my college brother, Mr. Jay Crockett, who is married, by the way, and he has a different take on marriage, because I'm not here to do that red pill shit. I'm kind of sick of that. Uh, I'm tired of that red pill shit. I'm not on that anymore. So, well, I wasn't on that in the beginning. I just called it how I saw it. So Mr. J. Crockett will be on that channel tomorrow. That is on Genosha TV. That is on Genosha TV. I'm gonna catch up with my homeboy, and we just gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about, marriage, martial arts. We're gonna talk about a lot of different things on that channel. I would like to thank Miss Nicole Michelle for stopping through. I'd like to thank Billy Jeff for stopping through. I'd like to thank Miss Jones for stopping through. I'd like to thank B Money, Jasmine, and all the ladies. I'm sure you had some pearl clutching moments, but over here you get it raw. We give it to you raw, and that's how it is. If you want the more interesting stuff, that's going to be on Genosha TV with 90% less niggardry, and that's where we're going to be tomorrow. So with that being said, in other words, I'm going to close out just like I've been closing out on that Soul Train tip. We wish y'all love, peace, and soul, and we are gone.